The CIF Southern Section in Riverside, California. I'm Nick Rice, joined alongside J.R. Ibarra as we bring you the beginning of what should be an incredible year. It's the 2022 high school football regular season opener between two Riverside schools, J.W. North and Ramona, a game that kicks off what should be an incredible football season.
Nick, this is almost like a CIF playoff atmosphere. There's been a lot of anticipation building up to tonight's game, even though this is week 0 for the season. Both of these teams have not met each other and faced off since 2007, so there's a lot riding on here because both teams, if you recall from last season, really had a very good run both in league and unfortunately stumbled in CIF action early on. Maybe a little disappointment, and I know they're trying to get off to a good start tonight.
Well, these two schools, as mentioned, haven't met in 15 years in a regular season game, but they more than made up for it this summer with their 3 different scrimmages going into this one. So while both schools are still working out the fresh faces in the starting lineups, these schools are pretty familiar with how the other plays, so this should be a very close, very competitive football game.
J.W. North lost to some very skilled guys last year with their quarterback and running back, so now they're trying to make up with some brand new players. But the Rams of Ramona bringing some familiar faces at running back and quarterback here for this 2022 season.
Those are the Ramona Rams running out of the helmets and onto the brand new turf. We'll have plenty of time throughout tonight's broadcast to bring up the fresh faces for both schools. But what are your thoughts, JR, of the incredible new multi-million-dollar turf, track, and stadium that they renovated here?
This is beautiful. I know head coach Ken Mashinsky for Ramona was really happy to see this brand new addition to the athletic department. A beautiful layout here with both the track and a brand new set of turf here for the athletic department, and I think everybody's excited just for that. In fact, we had a little bit of an opening grand ceremony here with our mayor, Mayor Dawson, tonight, so there's a lot just to be proud of here for the city of Riverside.
Yeah, really an incredible atmosphere that we have. Parking was difficult. Getting into the stadium was even harder.
Even
but
for
once you're
announcers
in,
such as you.
Yeah, I know. You would think that I'd get the J.R. Ibarra treatment, but I guess maybe
they just
next year.
didn't recognize you.
So these are perennial playoff teams, J.W. North and Ramona. But when asking both coaches prior to the game what they were hoping to see, I was surprised to hear that both Ken Mashinsky of Ramona and J.W. North's Opalani Vepulu, they brought up just the competitiveness and, some of the fresh faces. They want to see how those guys perform, not necessarily a win or a loss tonight.
Yeah, Ken Mashinsky commentated to us that kind of his main concern is his line. He has to do a little bit of switching around, as he said. He's going to kind of feel things out here, and this game will give them the ability to kind of feel things out from the standpoint of making sure his offensive and defensive linemen work in whatever they get connected to here in this early part of the season.
And there are 5 non-conference games for J.W. North and Ramona as they prepare for their respective leagues. Ramona plays out of the River Valley and J.W. North in the Sun Belt League for 2022. Both schools made the playoffs and won a postseason game last year. Incredible run for Ramona, but that is a typical run for them under Ken Mashinsky. J.W. North made the playoffs for the first time in a long time and set a school record in wins in 2021.
That was a team that I know both you and I expected to go pretty deep in CIF. Unfortunately, got stumbled and tripped up in the first round to Oaks Christian. Nonetheless, it's a team that definitely had a lot to be proud of for last year's winning league championship team, and I think they're expecting much of the same for this year, even in spite of the fact that they have some brand new kids at the skill sets.
And those fresh faces we'll see right away tonight. It's incredible. I've got goosebumps, JR. First game of the season in 2022, Ramona and J.W. North. Fans have been clamoring for years about these two schools playing. It's arguable, but certainly a good argument. These are the 2 best schools in Riverside, but as mentioned, they haven't played in years. So this isn't just a big-time matchup of playoff teams. I mean, this is a dream matchup.
That's why some people are actually calling this the city championship, even though it's ground, even though it's week 0 here for both of these squads. This is essentially for the championship of Riverside, since both of these teams are 2 of the best here in our great city.
Well, Ramona won the toss and elects to receive. Nikki Chavez stands deep to return for the Rams, joined by Michael Perez. Week 0 of the CIF Southern section. Ramona and JW North. Huskies are dressed up in the white and also the beautiful helmets. Ramona in the dark blue, navy blue tops and bottoms with the stripe. White helmets as well for Ramona.
Chris Lara will be the kicker here for the Huskies of JW North.
He is one of the few skill position guys for JW North returning for this year. A beautiful mid-80 degree late August game, and we are underway. First game of the 2022 high school football season. Perez brings it back from the 10, slips a tackle, and on the first play of the season, this could be a house call. Chased by Lindsay, he's at the 20, and the first play of the year is a 90-yard touchdown. No flags on the field.
Yep, don't see any penalty markers. There was a little bit of extracurricular activity between some of the defenders, but nonetheless, that's a heck of a way to start off the 2022 season here for the Rams.
What a run. That was Bo Bruins on the kickoff return. Ramona takes the lead with 15 seconds gone by in the first game of the season. An incredible run from Bruins. We knew he was special on offense as their lead running back, but who knew he had that sort of speed for a special teams return?
Not surprised at all to see that, to have Mashinsky put him back as a receiver on kickoffs, and you can see what he can do from a speed standpoint. His wheels are incredible here for this senior for the Rams of Ramona.
Out of the hold from Johnson, the extra point is good. 7-0 Ramona in the matchup that some have dubbed as the top 2 schools in Riverside for 2022. The city championship belongs to Ramona early. 7-0 Rams.
Only took 15 seconds off of the time clock, so that's a heck of a way to manage things from a time standpoint.
Yeah.
Is to take the football near 90 yards and in for the score to start things off here in tonight's contest.
Yeah, if Ramona can score every 15 seconds, I think they're going to have a good chance to win this game.
That obviously puts some pressure, if you will, here on the Huskies of JW North. They want to come out of the gate looking pretty strong offensively, but as we said, from a skill standpoint, they have some brand new people. First off at quarterback, Cameron Shannon taking over for Campbell last year. So we'll see what he can do in his role as the brand new starting quarterback.
And while, as mentioned, JW North does bring back many players on the offensive line, their quarterback and Venancio Michaele, their lead running back, both have graduated, making for a brand new football team really on offense for 2022. We'll see how they fare in the first game of the year. 7-0 Ramona. Here's the kickoff.
Villa is your kicker here for the Rams of Ramona.
Villa sends it to about the 7-yard line. Reeled in by Damian Alala. And he is smoked just short of the 30. Nikki Chavez converges for the Rams. Cameron Shannon, junior quarterback at 5'10", 160 pounds. He attempted a total of 19 passes last year. Not quite the experience they were hoping coming in, but JW North has plenty of guys up front to help soothe the transition for 2022 for Shannon.
It seems like Coach Vaipulu is still pretty enthusiastic about his capabilities as a quarterback. He says he has a great arm, and plus he has the very strong capability to run the football if he gets into any trouble as well. So we'll see what happens in this first series for the Huskies.
Cameron Shannon joined by Amir Ridgely, the starting running back, notching his first start for JW North in his Husky career. He'll line up in the pistol formation on 1st and 10. Amir Ridgely shakes a tackle and is crushed just across the 30-yard line. A scamper of 5 yards for the senior Amir Ridgely on his first carry of the year.
Some pretty big shoes to fill when you figure Michaeli is not with us, which is pretty amazing how his career just started as a freshman and just really got a lot of attention as a running back here for the Huskies.
And Ridgely, while he didn't play too much last year as a third-string tailback, he did come in as that change of pace scat back for them, and that sort of speed should be vital for them if they want to win in a game like this. Ridgely heads to the outside, showcasing that speed, and he picks up the first down on the gain of 8. Run out by Royce Mendoza and company. Amir Ridgely, 6.5 yards a carry a year ago. He's got the speed to make plays like that outside.
I kind of like what I'm seeing here so far because, the Huskies just came off of a pretty significant situation by allowing a run back on the touchdown there by the Rams, but here they're trying to just settle in, get a rhythm offensively, and try to make things happen.
Amari Easton checks in as the new Husky tailback. And he releases and grabs the first completion of the year for Cameron Shannon, and he gets decked near the sideline. Oohs and ahs from this crowd. Easton hangs on. That's a pickup of 9 on the first completion for Cameron Shannon this year, and that was a nice check down to get the quarterback some confidence.
Nice work. I like the little toss out to the left there that got Easton close to a first down. It's a nice way to get some rhythm into this offensive squad.
Fourth play, the JW North drive. It should be noted the Huskies did not lose a road game last year and went 11-1 overall, unbeaten in the Sun Belt League 2. Easton sweeps to his left and has the first down. Spilled by Desmond Watkins, the tackle leader for Ramona last year with 106 tackles in 2021. He stops number 28, Amari Easton, at the 47-yard line.
Huskies are a pretty well-balanced team when you look at their stats from last season. This is a team that pretty much threw as much as it did run the football throughout their entire 21 season.
And in fact, for JW North, they averaged nearly 20 more yards per game on the ground, led by Venasio Michaele, on 8.6 yards per carry last year. That won't come close to the average. He gets drilled. Isaac Vega, number 40, with a vicious hit behind the line.
Man, that's a great way to say how do you do here early on in this ball game. Creates a loss of about 2 yards here for the Huskies.
The Rams defense came up runner-up in the River Valley League, allowing just over 19 points per game. And they bring back most of that unit that helped spearhead a 10-win campaign for Ken Mushinski last year. And Isaac Vega is one of those team leaders at the linebacker spot, a real quarterback for that defense. 2nd and 12. They brought Makai Hill into the ball game. Shannon dances and takes off. This is the sort of athleticism that was marveled from Opalani Veipulu, the head coach, going into the game. And Shannon scrambles near the markers. Officials signal first down. Gain of 12.
That is exactly the danger point here for Shannon. He has that capability to see when he has to take off out of the pocket. He's going to take that opportunity, and you saw him do that very effectively on that play.
For those of you just joining us, Ramona returned the opening kickoff, led by Bo Bruins, 87 yards for the go-ahead touchdown. But JW North, to their credit, has cooled off the crowd in the midst of a 3-minute drive. The Huskies have marched from their own 27 to the Ramona 37. Shannon, hands to the inside for Ridgely. And he powers through a couple of Rams out to the 34-yard line.
Nice carry by Ridgely. You can see some of the strength that he's able to carry a few tacklers down the down the hole there and picks up close to 4 yards on the carry.
Gavin McGowan, a sophomore defensive end, notching the start for head coach Ken Mashinsky. He makes the stop, and that's got to feel pretty good for the head coach and that staff overall to see some underclassmen making plays early.
Yeah, it is kind of a young team in certain skill sets defensively, so Mush is definitely looking to try to get some great experience here for these younger players.
Quick flip in the flat. Damian Alala with the flag thrown. Motors to the 27-yard line.
See what the call is. Could be a face mask. We'll see what happens.
The fans here at Ramona High School are all standing up right now, so it's a little difficult for us to see in the press box at the moment. Penalty is on JW North.
Oh, going to go.
But this is a fired-up crowd tonight, JR, and they've been given some early fireworks, led by that Bo Bruins touchdown.
It's nice. This is almost like creating a new inner-city rivalry here between the Huskies of North and the Rams of Ramona. It'll be nice if we can see these two teams face off every year for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, before the game we talked to both coaches about that very situation. Why don't we see Riverside schools play each other more? Ken Mashinsky brought up he'd love to see more, but with the leagues and the divisions being so different and schools having these multi-year engagements, short gain to Amir Ridgely, the senior tailback, it becomes much more complicated than just calling a school and asking them to play.
Well, you know, as I was mentioning to Coach Mashinsky, from a logistical standpoint, when you think of travel costs and fuel costs nowadays, it would actually be worth the while of these local teams to play each other as much as they can.
Yeah, have you seen the fuel price? Yeah, I'd play Riverside every week if you could, which is a big city. You could go 25 minutes from one end to the other and still be playing Riverside schools, which brings up the other game going on right now. We have a Riverside TV Friday night doubleheader. Me and JR here from Ramona, joined in Arlington High School by the Lions' first home football game in their program's history. What an incredible moment for that school just across the way on Riverside TV 2.
Yeah, essentially it's history being made here for the city of Riverside, that Arlington for the first time in a half century, first time ever, gets to play a home game. That's very exciting.
It almost feels like a de facto first-time home game in this new turf for Ramona too. 5-step drop, Shannon's under duress, McGowan chases, he slips through the arms of Frank Manzo, still is on his feet, Shannon guns it inside the 15 for Alala, and he dropped it.
Boy,
knocked away by Chavez.
Give him an A for effort, because I thought for sure he was going to be brought down in the backfield there.
And some of the officials are talking with the flag not thrown, but it appears Ramona is flagged for, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they're reversing it. It's going to be a personal foul. I think it was the block that was put on Castaneda.
I was going to say, I've never seen a clipping on one of those on the defense. That's an interesting
It was kind of a blindsided block that went against Javier Castaneda, the defensive end. And he got put to the turf pretty hard. So that's going to really back things up here for the Huskies and put a stall to this drive.
A 10-yard setback for JW North. Make it a 15, actually. But the Huskies just showed why Cameron Shannon is one of those quarterbacks that this city is raving about. Incredible wheels for a guy that also can throw the ball like that.
Yeah, his elusiveness on that last play really showed up, and you're going to see probably a whole lot more of that tonight.
Cameron Shannon, the JW North quarterback, played junior varsity QB for the program last year and was the varsity wide receiver.
Nice pickup on the play.
Anthony Zavala on the inside run. He dances with a 42. That is a 15-yard scamper, but on 3rd and 28, nowhere near enough for a first down.
Yeah, it's bringing up an interesting situation. I guess they're going to bring out the kicking squad here. I like to say the punting squad.
It would be an interesting decision. 59-yard field goal. Certainly they could have gone for it. And in today's day and age, JR. Certainly wouldn't be the first time a 4th and 14 had been attempted.
They would have the wind to their back, so it could have been something, but I guess a little bit too long for Coach OP to give that a chance here.
Yeah, and OP is one of those old school, run-heavy, defense-oriented football coaches. And that has paid dividends for them right away. He's in his second year with the program as head coach. Flag is thrown for roughing the kicker.
Wow.
As this punt bounces into the end zone.
That could give him a first down.
It was a 4th and long 14. Based on where the sticks are, if the officials believe it's less than 15, this should be, as mentioned, a first down.
Yeah, let's see. It is roughing the kicker. So this can change everything in a matter of one flag here.
Number 95, Javier Castaneda, is the guilty party for the Rams. And that's where on 3rd and 29, that big run from Anthony Zavala of JW North winds up being a massive play for this football team.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Now it'll be a first down and 10 here for the Huskies inside of the 30.
So Ramona has the early lead, JR, but JW North has played the ball control game, the very game that helped them win 11 different football games last year. And I'd say, the Huskies have brand new faces, but it's the same old winning style running and defense mentality that helped them make the playoffs last year.
This is what they do best, Nick, and you're going to see a whole lot of this throughout this season.
Handoff. Amir Ridgely heads to his right and is spilled inside the 25. Isaac Guerrero, a 5'11 senior linebacker, was one of the first men there on the stop.
Ridgely is already racking up the carries here. He's at 6 carries so far on the night.
And those carries, at some point in this football game, may end up wearing down the Ramona defense. Just the sheer amount of work from the front 7 of Ramona. I mean, that's something that you don't see in the stat sheet. Omari Easton taken down at the 21-yard line. Royce Mendoza on the stop.
Interesting move here for the Huskies. They've been transferring their running backs in and out through most of the night, so we're seeing a different look from different faces, and I think it's working out pretty good so far.
Yeah, man by committee. 3 different runners on this drive for the Huskies, minus the quarterback, Cameron Shannon. And the last carry sets up 3rd down and 6.
Again, when we look back to last year and the great play by Micah Ailey, getting nearly, I believe it was 3,700 yards for his career, I should say.
Right. Last year was 1,300 with 22 rushing touchdowns.
Astounding numbers.
Astounding shoes to fill by this 2-headed monster. Inside run to Easton. Inspiring run, too. Pickup of 8. First down, JW North.
Wow, this is really working out so far, this running back by committee. They keep shuffling in some new faces almost every other series, and it's churning up the yards here. Now they're looking at some really good capabilities heading it into the red zone here.
Right. The league leader in scoring last year for the Sun Belt was JW North at 36.5 points per game. First down from the Ramona 15. It's been an incredible drive of over 8 minutes. 1st and 10 for Shannon. He flips it to his right. Easton gets decked out of bounds by Desmond Watkins, the senior backer at 5'8", 195 pounds. He makes another tackle for Ramona. 106 last year. That's got to be at least 3 on this drive for the Rams starter.
Nice look at the arm of Shannon. He has definitely the capability to toss it out to his open receivers, and that well-balanced offensive look is what we're seeing here with the Huskies so far.
His last throw picked up 4. Zavala checks back in as the pistol back for Shannon. They'll hand it to him. Zavala lost the football. Both teams are fighting for it. Ramona recovers. Desmond Watkins, who was all over that drive for Ramona, He scoops up the loose ball for the Ramona Rams. It's their first takeaway of the season.
Wow, that is kind of a key situation here. They've spent all this time, near 9 minutes on the field, controlling the line of scrimmage, and a simple turnover like that just helps this team just to deflate the football, if you will, here for the Huskies.
Crushing Desmond Watkins. He is one of those mainstays of that excellent defense of a year ago for head coach Ken Mushinski. And on that drive, he was simply everywhere for that defense.
Definitely the kind of look defensively. And now we'll take a look at Nathan Johnson for the first time tonight.
Johnson was nearly a full-time starter through last season for Ramona Bruins, who returned the opening kickoff of the year for an 87-yard touchdown return. He dropped the screen pass from Johnson. Last year, Ramona's starting quarterback Nathan Johnson completed 58% of his throws for a league-high 1,881 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. A 6'2" quarterback with the steady hand of a guy who's been here several years and is coached up by his dad, so he's got all sorts of tools to win games for Ramona this year. His first pass of the season is a first down completion to Royce Mendoza.
Nice toss there by Johnson to try to get himself into some sort of rhythm.
That's a gain of 11 that time from Johnson. Now, this is a quarterback that has been in the system for years and has been coached up for this moment right here as a senior for this Ramona program.
A lot of expectation for him coming into this 22 season, so let's see as he progresses through the night how that experience shows up.
Handoff to Bo Bruins. And that's, with a late flag thrown, what makes him such a dynamic runner. Speed, power, size, and overall athleticism. Bo Bruins was a 2,000-yard rusher for the Rams last year.
Along with 35 touchdowns, I believe. It's some pretty incredible numbers for this young man.
5'11", 170 pounds. 9.5 yards a carry, too, and also a pretty solid return man, as we're finding out tonight.
Looks like they're going to get some additional yardage here as they take the ball right to about midfield.
Yeah, unnecessary roughness on JW North. Well, this is a completely different football game, JR. JW North was controlling the clock and moving in for the tie, and now they've got to play some defense to preserve an early strike from the Rams. They've got the ball on 1st and 10, and on the third play for Nathan Johnson, he throws a slant, reeled in by Villa. No one's in front of him. That's a 52-yard touchdown.
Wow. What a way to show some electricity here offensively here for the Rams. Nice toss by Johnson to hit Villa.
And it was an incredible job getting separation by Emmanuel Villa, too. He's a two-way athlete for the Ramona Rams and makes a huge momentum-swinging play. Watkins scoops up a fumble to cap off that 9.5-minute long JW North drive, and the Rams snag the 2-score lead with 1:10 left in the first quarter. Johnson will hold. Extra point by the man who grabbed the touchdown, and Emmanuel Villa splits the uprights.
Nice
14-0 Ramona in the first quarter of this big football game.
Didn't quite expect that kind of score so far this early here in this ball game, but I think we're beginning to see just how well experienced these Rams are, both from an offensive standpoint and defensively.
And we spoke to Ken Mushinski prior to the game, and one of the big areas of concern for him was the offensive line. He's still working out starters and that rotation going into the first game of the year, and I'd say so far he's got to feel pretty encouraged about the performance of the big guys up front.
They've been definitely holding their own so far here early in this first half of play. And now the Huskies are kind of backed into a corner. Even though there's still plenty of time, obviously, in this football game, they want to get themselves back into that offensive rhythm again, I'm sure. because I don't think you're going to see any kind of big plays right off of the bat. They're just going to try to continue on with their offensive scheme that they normally try to run here each and every game.
Well, it makes things a lot easier to execute that scheme when you've got a line playing like that. He was encouraged, was Mashinsky, about their performance in the scrimmage against this JW North club last week, and it's been a strong start for them. Squib kick, scooped up at the 18-yard line by the up-back Dylan Butcher, and he is smoked just short of the 25. Ramona 14, JW North 0. Glad you're with us on Riverside TV. Nick Rice joined alongside J.R. Ibarra. The Rams returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Then after a long Husky drive, forced a fumble picked up by Desmond Watkins, and the Rams score right away to take a 14-0 lead. This is a big moment for this Huskies program here in week 1 of the year, down by 2 touchdowns.
This is a great way to christen a brand new field here for the Rams of Ramona.
Yeah, it looks like the Rams have practiced here all summer, but they actually haven't. This is one of the first times both schools have played on this turf field. Shannon motions out of the jumbo package. 4 receivers in on the 1st and 10 empty. Pressure's coming. Shannon takes off to his right and gets a block out to the 30. Shannon races out of bounds in front of Vega. First down, JW North.
Nice pickup, only his second run of the night, and he already has 24 yards on the ground so far in this first quarter of the football game.
Cameron Shannon emerging as the starter for JW North this year, and has looked poised and comfortable so far in this first quarter. That turnover on the last drive was courtesy of the running back Anthony Zavala. Certainly no blame on the quarterback for that giveaway on the previous drive. Shannon has been steady, he's been energetic, and provides the sort of confidence that you love to see out of a quarterback still learning how to be a starter in this offense.
I like the mix that they're doing from a play call standpoint. Now they've been allowing Shannon to keep the football for the past couple of plays here, just to kind of display his speed.
20 seconds left in the first quarter. 14-0 is our score in favor of the Rams. 2nd and 9.
Oh, movement. What a shame.
False start on wide receiver Carson Branch. So the first quarter is about over. JR, what are your thoughts so far of this game?
Well, like I said, Nick, I'm a little surprised at the score so far. I didn't quite foresee this type of game so far early here in this contest, but nonetheless, it's interesting to see how things have been formulating here for the Rams and really their capabilities to come right out of the gate and make some noise here in this contest.
For pretty much any other school that JW North played last year, on an 8-9 minute long demoralizing drive, usually you'll see a defense get deflated. But Ramona's really the first team I've seen in a long time where they stood up to the challenge and made a big defensive stop.
Nice run.
Omari Easton, the senior, is taken down by Daniel inside of the 40-yard line. Big run to close the quarter by Omari Easton of the Huskies.
Great pickup here for the Huskies. Still got 6 seconds on the time clock before it expires, and it looks like they may not get off another play before the quarter comes to an end.
Both teams will switch sides, and JW North, down 2 scores early, hopes to punch this one in for points. We'll see if they can do it. Nick Rice, J.R. Ibarra, this is the 2022 high school football season opener from Riverside. 2 Riverside schools meet, Ramona and JW North, in week 1 of the year.
You can kind of see the strength of that front line here offensively for the Huskies of JW North, and that's exactly kind of the bread and butter that they have lived by here over the past couple of seasons. And with this running back by committee, it is definitely helping them to get some yards on the turf here. If they can kind of keep up that consistency, this will be a good way to kind of turn things around and make up that 14-point deficit pretty quick.
in progress from Riverside. The Arlington Football Lions are underway on Riverside TV in our secondary broadcast against Lakeside of Lake Elsinore. That game currently underway on Riverside TV.
Hey, you can switch back and forth between this game and that game here, the game we have here.
Well, not when JR is talking. You got to keep it on this one.
Exactly. I think this one's a little bit more exciting.
JW North down 2 scores going into the second. Glad you're with us. Nick Rice, J.R. Ibarra on Riverside TV. Stretch run to Ridgely, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. The Huskies finished last year 11-1 and were unbeaten on the road, led by rookie head coach Opalani Veipulu. He was a former coach across the way over at Pauley. He also was the assistant here at JW North for years. But OP, as they call him, taking over for Dennis Brown, he has been a huge resurgence story for this program.
There's no question he's helped turn things around here for the Huskies, and a real bright spot for this organization to make this a very solid and winning football team.
JW North is fresh off a school record in wins in 2021. Play fake from Shannon. The pressure's coming, so Shannon takes off. Watkins chases him down, and a late flag is thrown. Watkins, the man who scooped up the fumble, may have just been penalized with a late hit out of bounds.
That's what it looks like. I'm pretty sure this one is going to go against the Rams of Ramona. Shannon with a nice run, once again showing how quick he is to come out of that backfield when he needs to escape any of those defenders.
And it appears JW North will be in the red zone for their next play, a 1st and 10. So when Dennis Brown leaves, this team missed the playoffs twice and lost right away as a one-and-done program in the 4 years before Opalani Veipulu gets there. Then he arrives after the 2019 campaign. They finished first in the Sun Belt League but didn't make the playoffs because high school football didn't have a playoff in 2020 due to COVID. In 2021, they go 11-1 and nearly beat Oaks Christian in the CIF quarterfinals. And they bring back so many of the teams from that playoff run, and they hope that this year can be even better, led by this incredible coach. Shannon guns it towards the end zone. The receiver jumps back to the 3 and dives back to the 1-yard line, reeled in by Carson Branch, and the junior was on the doorstep of a JW North score.
Great catch by Branch. He had to come back to that football and to kind of almost scoop it off of the turf. He was actually in the end zone momentarily, had to come back out in order to grab that pass there from Shannon.
First grab of the year for Carson Branch. The junior had 4 receptions the entire season in 2021, but the Huskies graduate most of that starting receiving core from last year.
Interesting look with an I formation here.
Timeout, Huskies. That play looked doomed from the start. So they'll talk that one over.
A little bit of confusion there. We hadn't seen anything like an I formation here stack up for the Huskies, so they needed to kind of take a little breather here just to kind of get things sized up when they're this close to the end zone.
2 perennial playoff teams, Ramona and JW North. Before we continue with the goal line package for JW North, let's look at their future schedule, and it begins next week. The Huskies play host to the Beaumont Cougars. Jerry, are you going to be at that game next week? It's on Riverside TV.
I am not sure if I'm scheduled for that game.
We'll find out.
Not. My day job keeps me busy right now, so I may not be able to have the opportunity to be with us on Riverside TV next weekend.
It certainly should be interesting for JW North. They visit Chino Hills, home for Roosevelt. Then off a bye, their non-conference finale is against the Titans of Grand Terrace. And their league opener is against the team that finished runner-up in the Sun Belt, the Coyotes of Orange Vista, and that is a road game for JW North. So this season, there are 2 games on the schedule that us fans would circle. This one tonight, and then the one on September 30th at Orange Vista. Those 2 games, if they can win both of them, then there's a very good chance they win the whole thing. Inside run with forward progress. Here's Easton to about the 1.5-yard line. Excellent job up front by Nicky Chavez, the senior cover man stepping in on run support for the Rams.
Huskies really stacked it up, but were not able to punch it in.
We'll see if that front line, with 4 of 5 starters from last year returning, we'll see if they can find the end zone this time. Number 99, the senior big man Christian Wilson, motions out wide for JW North. Shannon throws a jump ball to Wilson in the end zone.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's got it for a touchdown.
That is amazing.
5'8" Joseph Soto couldn't win the jump ball against 6'3" Christian Wilson.
I was intrigued to see him spreading out as a wide receiver, and sure enough, they went right to him.
Christian Wilson on his best refrigerator impersonation. The big fella William Perry of the 85 Bears.
See if they can make this a 7-point deficit with a point after.
Alala the hold and Lara the kick. And that is no good. Wide right from Lara. Our score early in the second from Riverside is 14-6.
Clock is stopped at 9:45 here in the second quarter. So it looks like fell just a bit shy with that point after, but nonetheless, that's an interesting way to grab a touchdown, as to send your big man out as a wide receiver to grab the football.
Well, we knew he was a good run stuffer for that JW North defense. Who knew that he was the leading touchdown recipient for JW North this year?
Again, I'm really liking the play calling here by the Huskies, because they have really mixed things up. They're not giving that same look each and every series that they have run so far early here in this football game. And there's another example of that with that touchdown.
The funny thing about last year for JW North, 9 of their 11 wins were by 20 points or more. So this was basically never even a thought in their mind how to play in games like this, one possession going into a half. These sort of situations, I'm sure, will pay dividends for them later in the year, because it's a whole different ball game. When you're up by 20, it's a different mindset than when you're down by 8 like it is right now.
This is a great way to really get some really strong experience for some of these youngsters to, as you say, Nick, face this type of scenario that down the road, when it really begins to count in league and CIF, this is where you want the team to really flex their muscles and come out of that deficit and try to get things up here on the scoreboard.
JW North trailing at the second quarter of a ball game for one of the first times in the old Palani Vepulu area. And this is really what these coaches are talking about. They wish they'd play these Riverside schools more. It's a great football game. Jake Valenzuela taken down by Aiden Beasley at the 27-yard line. A 15-yard return with the Rams up 14-6. That high-powered offense, fresh off the touchdown drive, they'll take the field up by 8.
Let's see what the Rams can do offensively. I mean, they show themselves pretty strong in their last offensive series, getting themselves into rhythms once again with the likes of Johnson and Bruins in the background offensively.
9:38 to go in the second quarter. Ramona has the ball at 14-6. Ramona dressed in the dark blues, and JW North in the road whites. Nick Rice, J.R. Ibarra on Riverside TV. 1st and 10. Bo Bruins forces one of the defenders to lose his helmet. That was the touchdown recipient, Christian Wilson. A strong gain of 4 that time for Bruins.
Nice run by Bruins. Boy, you not only see his speed, you see his strength.
Yeah.
Ramming into a couple of defenders and putting one to the turf and having him lose his helmet. In fact, that was against the big guy, Christian Wilson, who scored the last touchdown here for the Huskies.
The Huskies, Kamar Branch, a sophomore, will take his spot, and his chin strap is on tight for his first play of the game. 2nd down and 6. Johnson throws the slant to Villa, who caught the touchdown earlier. He dropped a gimme
Yeah,
at the 35-yard line.
That was a for sure catch. Unfortunately, he was probably already thinking about turning it upfield and just did not get a handle on it.
What's interesting for Villa is that he caught the tougher pass. And because the sun has set, he doesn't have that excuse to give to his fans after this one's over.
Can't say that the sunlight was in the eyes, although we're getting a pretty good breeze coming out of the west here.
You know, it's blistering hot, and then all of a sudden the sun sets, and it's a beautiful scene for Riverside High School football.
This is a great night for football. Glad to have you join us here on Riverside TV.
JW North has snagged some momentum. Pass rush coming on the 3rd and 6. Johnson looks left, and his throw is short of Villa, who was wide open. Incomplete. He did a good job against the Huskies' Jaden Pitts. But Ramona suffers a 3 and out. They'll bring in the special teams group.
Pretty surprising so far. Johnson is only 2 of 5 here in the first half.
One of those 2 was the touchdown.
Exactly.
But this has been an incredible turnaround. JW North falls behind 14-0. They deliver the touchdown march, force the 3 and out. They've got a chance with a 2-point conversion to tie the game here.
They have that capability to do that. There's no question about that.
Ualingi Pea, a senior, Nicky Chavez. At his own 18-yard line.
All up back to receive.
Low snap, and this one's away, end over end to Olala. And he breaks right through the first defender, and there he goes. Stacked up at the 35-yard line on an outstanding stop from Javier Castaneda. A return of 8, setting up JW North 65 yards away from a touchdown that would tie the game.
Nice punt coverage here by the Rams. Alas, very well known for his speed and capabilities to move the football.
Yeah, this really does look like a well-coached bunch of football teams, Ramona and JW North. Both savvy veteran head coaches. Usually, week 0 of a season, we'd see just a laundry list of penalties and turnovers and mistakes. Tonight's game has been very well played.
It is. I mean, for being early in the season, you would expect a lot of mistakes. So far, we haven't seen too many of those. We've had some pretty significant ones, but nonetheless, it's looking pretty well coached, as you said, so far.
Huskies mounting the comeback, down 14-6. Gut run to Amir Ridgely. And he picks up 2 on the inside.
Ridgely so far the leading ball carrier with 8 carries so far here in this first half of the contest.
JW North losing Venancio Michaele, their star running back from last year, leaned heavily on Ridgely and Easton, and they have delivered so far today. It's number 24, Amir Ridgely, who lines up in the pistol formation on 2nd down. Handoff from Shannon. Ridgely slips through the first wave of defenders. This could be coming back as Ridgely picks up 6. Let's see the penalty here. Hold on the offense.
Wow, what a shame. That was a pretty decent run.
Meanwhile, upcoming for the Ramona Rams, we will see them twice on Riverside TV over the next month. September 16th, the Rams play host to the Pauley Bears on Riverside TV. Then 14 days later, on a Thursday, Ramona visits the Trojans of Hillcrest. Riverside TV's got the entire city covered with high school football and all RCC home games this year. We've got more on that in just a moment. 2nd down and long for JW North. Omari Easton, nowhere to go. He gets taken down for a loss. Isaac Guerrero, number 17.
Nice stuff by Guerrero to put a stop to that pretty quick.
Yeah, no chance for him that time. RCC, a perennial power in junior college football, but one of the big stories of the NFL season was the LA Chargers signing J.C. Jackson, one of the best corners in the league. He led all of the NFL in pass breakups last year. And where did he attend college? Riverside.
It's a great place for a lot of these youngsters who maybe do not get a look at the D1 schools to kind of develop their skill set at RCC. And that's just one prime example.
And it almost never has to do with your talent level. A lot of it is from grades to just situation to scouts not seeing you. Shannon on 3rd and long, hit as he throws. Incomplete. JW North and Ramona and a good flip-flopping of possessions here. That's a 3 and out for the Huskies offense, and they'll punt it away.
So the Rams defense kind of flexes their muscles on this last set of downs here. Able to put a stop to anything that the Huskies were trying to generate offensively here, and they got to be proud of that scenario.
Yeah, fantastic defensive effort by the Rams. Ramona last year outscored its opponents 41-19 in what was a brilliant 10-2 stint for head coach Ken Mashinsky. His second double-digit win stints at Ramona High School. The punt is nearly blocked by Castaneda. End over end on the hop to the 40, and he gets nailed. Jake Valenzuela gets decked. Dylan Boucher on the stop for JW North.
Great coverage on the punt there by the Huskies of JW to really come up with nothing, but it is pretty decent field position here for the Rams to get things to try to move here offensively.
And this is where these two football teams are going to win a lot of games this year, defense. And after the Bo Bruins hot start, both offenses have cooled off in the second quarter. The Rams went 3 and out on their previous drive. 6:29 left in the first half. Rams ball up 14-6. 1st and 10. Play fake to Bruins, outside to Emmanuel Villa. A good job to get him open in space. Villa on the tunnel screen picks up 8 yards and near a first down.
Nice toss out. Just shy of the first down marker.
Sophomore cornerback Jaden Pitts, number 5, who's adjusting his shoulder pads at the bottom of your screen. He was in on the stop of Emmanuel Villa. That's a pretty tough task for a sophomore cornerback in his first varsity start to come in against Emmanuel Villa, a terrific receiver, one of the league's best.
Already 60 yards in receptions here for Villa so far in this first half.
2nd and short, inside run to Bruins, who sidesteps a defender, and there he goes, 45-40. And he gets a block running out of bounds at the 35. 17-yard burst for Bruins, first down Ramona.
Prime example of why Bruins is such a threat offensively here for the Rams, and picks up a first down for Ramona.
Both Bruins averaged a first down a carry last year, 9.5 yards a run for the senior tailback.
That's a pretty amazing statistic when you think about it. Nearly 10 yards per carry by this youngster, and you can see why with the great speed that he possesses offensively.
Not too often you see a guy run for over 2,000 yards in a 12-game season, let alone a 16-game campaign. And that was Bo Bruins last year. He releases, Johnson looks left, diving try, and that one just sails past the reach of the Rams' Jordan Daniels. Incomplete. Ramona does have 3 or 4 savvy returners at the receiver spot. Villa's one of them, but Royce Mendoza, Jordan Daniels, and Jake Valenzuela, they've all been quiet today, but are capable for the Rams.
That's one thing that Coach Mashinsky commented to you and I before tonight's ball game. He says he has a great, capable core of receivers that he can go to anytime throughout the evening.
We'll see if Johnson targets them here on 2nd down and 10. Ball spotted at the 35. Play action. Johnson looks right and throws the comeback pattern to Jake Valenzuela, who gets hammered at the 15. 20-yard strike from Johnson with no penalty flag thrown. first down Ramona.
Nice pickup there by Valenzuela to come up with the football and get them into the red zone. Getting up a little slowly, I think he got a pretty good hit there.
He was the second leading receiver in the River Valley League, a team high 431 yards and 7 touchdowns for number 1 Jake Valenzuela last year. First and 10 at the JW North 15. Bo Bruins scored 35 rushing touchdowns last year and flanks Johnson to the left. First and 10, here goes the play fake to Bruins. Tunnel screen to Daniels, a block at the 10, and he dives in the end zone.
Great.
Touchdown Ramona.
Nice play there by the Rams.
Jordan Daniels reeled in just 1 touchdown last year. He equals his total of a season ago to cap off a masterful drive. Rams go 65 yards in just over 2 minutes and lead the ball game 20-6.
Had no defenders to contend with on that pass play, so he was able just to get into the end zone with not too much resistance.
Well, the blocking was pretty good too. Villa for the extra point, and the Rams lead it 21-6 with 4:51 left in a half. That the Rams have really made a statement in tonight. They have beaten JW North at their game. Ball control, defense, and right now they're just moving the ball a little bit better than the Huskies.
This is exactly what Coach Mashinsky wanted to see tonight. I didn't quite expect to see that so early here in this football game, but nonetheless, they are flexing their muscles right out of the gate and showing why they're such a strong contender to be a league champion here for the Rams of Ramona.
So you're checking out Ramona right now. They're led by 6-year head coach Ken Mashinsky. He has won 70% of his games with the Rams and led Ramona to the 2019 CIF championship game with 11 wins, most for the program in nearly 2 decades. But now Ramona's in a higher CIF Southern Section division, so the schedule gets tougher. They don't have many cupcakes anymore. So they've got to figure out a way after a first half like this to keep this performance going for the rest of the year.
This is a great way to set a foundation for this team to try to make a strong run at league and possibly get themselves into CAF and run deep here in the 22 season.
Line drive picked up inside the 10.
Ooh.
And the Huskies, Angelo Ramirez takes it out just short of the 30. Huskies quarterback Cameron Shannon, 1 touchdown pass on nearly 100 yards in the first half. It's been a hot and cold start for him, but the quarterback in his first real start for the JW North varsity program has committed 0 turnovers. He has been efficient and has kept this team ahead of the chains.
I think he's definitely shown why he is the starter. He definitely has had a cool head so far in this first half. But now let's see if they can buckle down and make up that deficit before halftime comes to a close here.
They'll set up shop at their own 28-yard line. Shannon with the pass rush coming. There he goes. 30, 35, 40. Shannon makes a move and tightropes the sideline. What a run from Cameron Shannon. That's a burst of 25.
Nice.
First down, Huskies.
Nice pickup. That is a great way to turn things around, and that's, again, one of the things you got to love about this kid. If he sees that he doesn't have a receiver open, he will just open things up offensively with his footwork.
67 yards rushing last year for Cameron Shannon. About 67 yards rushing in the first half of this one football game.
Yeah, he's just about there from a yardage standpoint, no question about that. He's right just shy of, actually he's at 50 yards
50
on 4 carries.
Yeah, he's looked very comfortable, and that's what an entire offseason with a program will look like. As a sophomore, wide-eyed and trying to gather the day-to-day challenges of JW North, a little different than Shannon coming in as a returner this year. Two of the premier quarterbacks in this league underway from Ramona High School. Play fake. Shannon's looking deep. McGowan's in on the rush. Number 88 for Ramona. He turns the corner, and there goes Shannon again.
Wow.
A slippery quarterback, and Ramona can't seem to slow him down. Another 6-yard gash for the QB.
Just when you think you have a handle on him, he has the ability to be so elusive and squeak out of that scenario and get himself out of trouble.
They marked him down back at the 43-yard line. He is just such a dynamic runner, though. I mean, Ramona had about 3 guys on him, and you have to believe at some point in a certain game you'll need to beat him with the pass, but right now the run's working for him. Zavala in the game, and he releases. Shannon looks the other way, and his pass is knocked down by Nicky Chavez, number 2.
McGill was the intended receiver.
Nicky Chavez did a good job punching it right out of McGill. 5'9", 160-pound senior with 4 pass breakups and a league best 3 interceptions last year. Ramona finished runners-up a year ago in the River Valley League. A performance like this, and they might just mess around and win the whole thing this season.
You know, kind of the key, I know the one loss they had to Norte Vista, it was the ability for the defense for Novi to stop things offensively against the Rams.
Yeah, that was the one team that could match them point for point last season. And they beat them for their one lone loss. Zavala gets spilled to the line of scrimmage by Ramona's senior middle backer, Isaac Vega, number 40.
Once again, the change-up was Zavala in the backfield there.
Coming into the game, Zavala was not listed as one of their running backs on the depth chart, but they must have felt pretty good after the scrimmages about this kid because he comes in as the runner, and while he did commit the fumble earlier in the game, he's back out there.
Once again, it's that nice mix-up of the running backs by committee here by the Huskies.
They'll keep him in on a 4th down and 6. The offense is out there to go for it. And Shannon takes the snap. 4th down attempt for JW North. Bootleg. Shannon fakes the pass. Makes a man miss. The Rams are tackling each other. They're trying to get a hold of this man. 1st down, JW North. Guerrero finally brings him down. What a run.
His elusiveness actually caused a couple of Rams to collide midfield with each other. Almost looks like one Ram was blocking the other, if you will. That's just how much of an elusive character he is from a running back standpoint.
It's hard to say that Cameron Shannon's that much different than a right-handed Michael Vick on Riverside TV.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to describe his capabilities.
He's literally got the size and the athleticism type of that man, Michael Vick. 1st and 10 inside the 30. Another run. Omari Easton. The veteran pounds his way to around the 18-yard line. And this Ramona defense looks gassed. They're up 21-6, but JW North has controlled time of possession in this half.
Again, it's that big front line by the Huskies doing their job to keep things controlled at that line of scrimmage. Time is kind of running short here with almost 2 minutes to play, but nonetheless, they're keeping a cool head about themselves.
JW North has inched their way into the red zone, converting a 4th and 6 along the way. The spectacular quarterback of JW North, Cameron Shannon, in the pistol formation, 2nd down and 2. Ramona brings 6 on the blitz. It was a good throw from Shannon right away, but Easton couldn't hang on, incomplete. Those are the sort of defensive packages that Shannon's going to have to learn with over the course of this year as Shannon throws that quick pattern off the blitz, but given the Rams brought so many guys, he must have had somebody open.
What I'm liking in what they're doing offensively is they're not really going for the big play. They're just trying to churn things out from a running and passing standpoint. Once again, the play calling has been really pretty good here for the Huskies.
We'll see what they dial up on 3rd and short. It's a run to Easton, and he is untouched to the 5, upended at the 2. It is in for the touchdown. Omari Easton across the goal line for 6.
Nice run there for Easton to come up with the 6th. Great way to get themselves into the locker room with another 6, hopefully 7 on the scoreboard.
That was a punishing drive by JW North, 21-12 now, but that did leave Ramona with 1:45 seconds and all of their timeouts.
That's enough to make things happen when you have the likes of Bo Bruins there for the round. So let's see what happens here on the kickoff and kickback. On the point after, it's Taylor Wonderly, a young lady on the roster.
Wonderly. Excellent
She's
kick.
got it.
Yep, with room to spare.
I saw her working out there before the game tonight, and she takes this awfully seriously, so she comes up with a point after.
Senior Taylor Wonderly. Extra point is good. Our score is 21-13. Shoot, with JW North missing the last PAT with Laura, you might as well give that lady a shot again.
You know, it's not an uncommon thing now to see young ladies playing varsity football. It's become kind of commonplace, if you will, and you can see the capability there by Wonderly to have a nice way of getting the point after here for the Huskies.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Wonderly tries a field goal at some point tonight. I mean, that was a pretty strong leg. She hit that one from about maybe 30 or 35.
Yeah, that looked pretty good. Was not squib looking at all. Okay,
certainly so better than us. We wouldn't have been able to do that.
You'd be lucky if you get 5 yards out of my leg, I can tell you that. So let's see what happens here, Nick. You got Bo Bruins almost in a single setback to receive the football here for the Rams.
And right now, that really has been the difference in the game. Ramona up 8, and Bruins began the ball game with an 87-yard kickoff return touchdown.
Only took them 15 seconds to do that, so with 1:45, ball drops just ahead of them.
On the hop from the 14-yard line, Bruins. Outside of the 20. Crowd on its feet. Here's Bruins to the 30.
Nice run back. Great field position here for the Rams.
Boucher runs them out just short of the 40-yard line. When Bo Bruins, the running back of Ramona, came into the program a couple of years ago as a freshman, the Rams were trying to figure out who their quarterback would be, and there were a couple of solid, decent performers, but now Ramona's got a good one, senior Nathan Johnson. And this kid, coming back for his second year as a starter, is a great compliment to Bruins.
Absolutely. I think that 1-2 points here from the Rams is showing why they have a pretty strong showing early here in this football game.
Last year, Johnson threw 19 touchdown passes. Bruins ran for 35. Now, if both guys score 25, I think that could be a mix that wins a bunch of games for the Rams. Johnson off the play fake. He's going deep to Valenzuela and missed him.
You see what a nice, strong arm that he has. Just ahead of his receiver. We'll stop the clock with a minute and a half.
Another youngster at the cornerback spot. JW North is starting 2 sophomores at cornerback. Carlos Granger was on the other side, and he had good coverage out there on Valenzuela.
So far, Johnson with already 10 attempts passing early here in this first half of play.
And a solid performance for him. 1:30 left in the half. Johnson, the Rams, lead it by 8. Bruins stuffed up front. Andrew Mosqueda makes the stop.
Also see Tupou making part of that delivery defensively here for the Huskies.
They call him Johnny in the locker room, don't they?
Exactly. Johnny Tupou, about 100 tackles last year. One of the premier linebackers around the city of Riverside.
5 sacks and 2 fumble recoveries, too. These are 2 great defenses. If anybody could rack up these sort of scoring drives on the other, would be Ramona and JW North. there's a good chance that these two schools won't play this level of competition again for the rest of the regular season. That's how good these schools are.
Yeah, this game is definitely the intensity level of a CIF playoff game.
And you can see it, all sorts of water for these players as they prepare for the remaining 118 in the first half. Lower 80-degree day, beautiful, beautiful night from Riverside, California. And we're given a treat. Too bad for Jeff Gorham and Ghazal Hassan of the other game. I'm sure Jeff would have loved to see his Rams play JW North.
Especially with a brand new field. I mean, yeah, obviously it's great. It's historical there for Arlington to get a brand new stadium and field for their very first home game ever in the history of that school's program. But we're having a great time here with this brand new field for the Rams of Ramona.
Yes, on our other Riverside TV station, Lakeside High School is spoiling the homecoming party for Arlington. They lead the Lions 7-6 at the half. Johnson off the play fake. He overthrows Valenzuela, incomplete.
Looks like that'll bring up a punting situation here for the Rams.
Nick Rice, J.R. Ibarra, Riverside TV, beautiful night, made just for football. Ramona returned the opening kickoff by Bo Bruins, 87 yards for a touchdown. And after a critical fumble from JW North, we've seen a much better performance out of them. Rams jumped out to a 14-0 lead after one, and the Huskies outscoring them 13-7 since they've got a chance to tie the ball game here.
They have time, Nick. I mean, you know, with 1:11 on the time clock, they certainly have the capability to make things happen.
It really was a frustrating end to that drive for the Rams. They just couldn't muster up much on offense. Chains say this is a third down situation, but it is fourth.
Nice kick.
Wobbling to Alala at the 25. He slips through a tackle, and Alala has green grass, taken down to the 38-yard line. Stopped by Matthew Hidalgo.
Not bad field position to try to make something happen here with just under 1 minute to play here in this half.
Now, as you mentioned earlier, JR, while JW North has a very efficient passing game, this will be a test to see if they can stretch out a defense in a situation like this.
I want to see what they want to conjure up here offensively. I mean, this is a way to go into the bag of tricks, which I think the Huskies are very capable of doing here with such limited time before the half runs out.
Number 52, Nathan Horton, is a late sub into the ball game for the Rams. Nickel package for the Ramona defense. It's 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. 2-minute drill to try to tie the game. Shannon on a jump pass. He is ruled down by contact on the completion to Alala. Clock is running, 47 seconds left in the half.
Nice catch, just shy of the first down.
And to near midfield, Shannon is back. Rams bring 6 on the overload blitz. Shannon fakes the shovel pass and throws that one out of bounds with 31.7 seconds left.
Still got time to make some things happen. Defensively, the secondary for the Rams were able to really flex their muscles and not give any kind of look there for the Huskies with the receiver downfield.
Yeah. I mean, this really is a big moment for JW North. For the Rams to go up 14-0 with the ball in the second quarter, and JW North still having a chance to tie the game before the half, this would be a very crushing drive if the Rams give up points here. 3rd and short, Shannon scans the field. He's got a man open, deep over the middle. He overthrows him and is nearly picked off. Guerrero got a hand on that ball towards Solis. Incomplete, and 4th down's coming up.
Stops the clock at 24 seconds.
And Guerrero could have had maybe a convoy and potentially a house call if he snags onto that one.
I would say at this point you want to pick up the first down, maybe try to get yourselves out of bounds to stop the football or stop the clock with the football.
24.4 seconds left in the half. 4th and 1. JW North converted a 4th and 6 earlier with a run from Cameron Shannon, one of the dazzling runs of the ball game. They'll hand to Easton here. He's got plenty of room to the 45 and gallops in front of Watkins with 18 seconds left in the half.
That'll move the change. Nice run by Easton there.
Timeout JW North. They've got one left. And with one more first down, we may be able to see that kicker again, Taylor Wonderly. And, of course, they're 42 yards away from the end zone.
18 seconds, they could at least get a couple of plays off here, maybe 3 in that time frame. So we'll see what happens as they take the timeout and try to talk things over and see what they can conjure up from an offensive standpoint.
But the thing is, JR, even if they don't score points on this possession, the fact that JW North gets all these opportunities against this defense, that's got to give them all sorts of confidence going into the second half, considering the Huskies returned the opening kickoff of the second half.
Absolutely. Points on the scoreboard here, even if it's a field goal, would be very meaningful as they head themselves into the locker room.
And as for Ramona, that defense, they don't look like they have the same amount of energy that they did earlier in the game. The Huskies have controlled the clock and have really turned this momentum around in the second quarter.
So let's see the play calling now. Got themselves pretty decent field position with the clock stopped at 18.
The Shannon have some late half magic on opening night. First down with a few seconds left before the half. Crowd on its feet to root on the Ram defense. Shannon drops 5. Looking left, the pressure's coming, and Shannon will run. 40. Chased by Watkins of the 35. He's got the first down with 7.6 seconds to go.
Clock should have stopped a little bit sooner than that, but it'll stop at about 7.6 here.
So they've got a decision to make. Does Shannon heave one to the end zone, or do they try a 46-yard field goal? The decision seems to have been made. The offense will go for the touchdown. Barring a penalty, this should be the final play of the half. We'll see if maybe they try a quick one.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious what they're going to try here, if they just might heave it into the end zone.
Just don't do a Dak Prescott for Dallas on the final play of their season against the 49ers. From the 29-yard line, Ridgely is in the game behind Shannon in the backfield. Snap, here's Shannon. Pass rush is coming. Shannon evades the pressure.
Oh, my goodness.
Loses the football. The sack ends the half.
Wow.
Nathan Horton makes the play, and Shannon is shaken up too.
Oh, boy. That could be a credible issue here for the Huskies if Shannon has a significant injury.
Did he twist his ankle on that play? Shannon's shaking it off.
Yeah, boy, he's definitely trying to nurse that leg there, and I guess he kind of got rolled over just a bit on that sack.
First sack of the game for that Ramona defense. It took them the entire half to finally chase down the elusive Cameron Shannon. What a play by Nathan Horton. It's the sack to end the half, and Ramona breathes a huge sigh of relief.
Great football game so far, though, when you see what's happened here in this contest. Nonetheless, even though they are trailing, the Huskies definitely have the capability to make things happen offensively, and we'll see as they'll get the kickoff to start off things in the second half.
My player of the first half, J.R. Ibarra, I've got to go Bo Bruins. That kickoff return was the big momentum boost the Rams needed. Desmond Watkins helped key that too, but Bo Bruins was great for Ramona.
Absolutely no surprise there. We did expect a lot out of him, and he definitely was able to come up with everything that they needed offensively and from a special team standpoint to put points on the scoreboard and lead this contest so far.
Ramona 21, JW North 13. We'll step aside, but before we do, quick game update for those who missed it. At the half from across the way at Arlington High School, Lakeside is pulling the spoilers. They lead 7-6 over Arlington. We'll have more from this game and also a look at that one on Riverside TV and much more. Season is just underway, folks. 21-13 Ramona at the half. This is Riverside High School football on Riverside TV.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD. Road traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right. We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the City of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I wanted to because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be perfect.
Today is our very first building of a Little Free Pantry. We are building a Little Free Pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood. in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other, instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD. Road traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right. We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the city of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see their faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I want to too because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be perfect.
Today is our very first building of a little free pantry. We are building a little free pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other, instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right. We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the City of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I want to too because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be it's perfect.
So, yeah, it's pretty long. Yeah, if you live in Diamond Bar closer to the ocean. Yeah, it's a little, Diamond Bar's not quite that close to the ocean. Yeah. And welcome back to Ramona. The Rams lead the Huskies 21-13 at the half. We'll wrap up exactly what happened in the third quarter, or rather going into the third quarter. But first, let's give you a quick game update out of the secondary Riverside TV matchup from Arlington High School, where the Lakeside Lancers lead the Arlington Lions in the third quarter, 7-6. That is a shocking development. That's a pretty tight ball game. We expect that. We expect that. Arlington really had a magical season last year, but they got off to a slow start last year. Look what happened. They almost came up with a state championship. And that's the thing about CIF Southern Section football, especially in Riverside. You never know. This kickoff rolls towards the end zone. That could have gone out for what would have been a penalty. Instead, it's scooped up by McGill, and he is crushed by Chavez at the 30-yard line. So for the those of you just joining us, let's recap you quickly on what we saw earlier tonight in the first half. JW North's opening kickoff of the year was taken back 87 yards by Bo Bruins for a score. That was the momentum boost Ramona needed to take a 14-0 lead after one. Via reeled in the first of two Nathan Johnson touchdown passes. Cameron Shannon, JW North quarterback, ran for 69 yards and threw for another 32 to help guide a comeback for the Huskies, who go into the half down 21-13.
Shannon back at quarterback, so the little shaker he had before the half seems to be okay. He was limping off the field like he maybe rolled on the ankle.
Yeah, he was going for a touchdown pass to tie the game going into the break and was sacked by Horton to end the half and rolled an ankle. That pass towards the sideline for Damian Alala is incomplete. One grab for 9 yards for the top target of a year ago. Alala incomplete.
Once again, Ridgely back in the backfield from a running back standpoint here for the Huskies. When you look at some of the stats in the first half, it was Cameron Shannon who was 5 of 10 for only 32 yards, but he had 6 rushes for 69, so his ability to run out of the backfield was very significant in this first half.
Another run outside to Amir Ridgely with the head of steam out of bounds at the 35. Wrapped up by Desmond Watkins, who has really been an incredible player for them tonight. Leading tackler for the Rams last season and a big contributor among support today. 106 tackles, 6 for loss, and a sack last year for the 5'8" senior Desmond Watkins. 3rd down and 5.
Easton now has running back here for the Huskies. In the leading ground gainer here in the first half at 85 yards on 10 carries.
Another run for Ridgely. Dazzling effort from Ridgely, who spins to the 39. This is close to a first down. It appeared as though he got enough to move the chains, and he did. Gain of 5 and a first down. JW North, their game plan has been very clear tonight.
As we've said most of the night, Nick, I love how they stick to their game plan. And in spite of the fact that they got themselves in an early deficit, they just stuck to what they normally do from an offensive standpoint. And let's see if they can pay off their dividends at some point on the scoreboard here in the third quarter.
4th play of the drive, 1st and 10 from their own 40. Ridgely in the block. Shannon's going deep. He's got a man open to the 30. That is Dylan Boucher, who makes the catch. First down, Huskies.
Beautiful toss, beautiful catch made by Boucher to come up with a first down and 10 in close to the red zone here on the 25.
So JW North in the first half of the game passed for 27 yards and ran for 193. They just gained 35 on the deep shot to Boucher, the sophomore's first catch as a JW North Huskies, nearly a touchdown. Highlight reel grab from the sophomore Boucher and a first down near the red zone.
Boy, he was in double coverage too. For him to hold that down was very impressive.
Boucher's really growing up before our eyes right now as one of those starting receivers for JW North. A modest gain of 2 that time for Amari Easton of the Huskies. 193 yards on the ground for JW North so far. This is a run-heavy football team, and when you get plays like Cameron Shannon over the top there, this is going to be a dangerous offense to slow down.
Absolutely. You know, I think as we commented early on in the game, last year this was a very well-balanced football team that really did almost the equal amount of yardage from running and passing the football, but we're seeing them really use the running game very effectively here in this contest.
And it does make sense with Cameron Shannon notching his first career start for the Huskies at varsity. Another first down run. Watkins drags down Easton. That's a pickup of 10. Move those chains for JW North. Easton moves the sticks again. He had 85 yards rushing and a touchdown. in the first half.
Really the workhorse so far from a running standpoint for the Huskies as they edge closer to possibly putting some points up here onto the scoreboard.
Desmond Watkins, the Ramona linebacker, he doesn't get notoriety very much on the defensive side for the Rams, but he has been everywhere tonight for that defense. Sporting number 23 of the Rams, he has nearly a dozen tackles and a fumble recovery so far tonight, and you never know who's going to run the ball for J.W. North, but yet again on the stop was Desmond Watkins.
Also give credit to Mickey Chavez, who was going to get his forward progress, and looks like a pickup of about 1 on the carry.
Let's check out that play again. Number 23, Desmond Watkins. When he gets a hand on the ball carrier, your chances of forward progress are over.
Clock already down to 8:15, just about here in this third quarter.
Yeah, a real statement drive for J.W. North.
Yeah, it's looked impressive so far.
4 minutes gone by in a fast-moving third quarter. Nick Rice, J.R.E. Barr on Riverside TV. 21-13, Ramona. Shannon lobs the pass into the end zone for Boucher. Overthrown. Good coverage out there by Chavez. Incomplete.
Just over the hands there of his intended receiver, Boucher. Take another look at this one.
Number 4, Dominic Chavez on the coverage. He did not put his eyes back to the quarterback. Luckily for him, though, Boucher was overthrown. J.W. North has a few savvy veteran receivers. Damian Alala, the team's leading receiver, to come back, but this young sophomore 5'10" wideout in Dylan Boucher, who's still certainly got plenty of room to grow, has been fantastic on this drive. Easton on a 3rd and long, spins away from the defense, and has been stuffed at around the 18-yard line. Decision to make on 4th down for the Huskies.
Made a nice spin move to keep forward progress, but did get stopped well short of the first down marker.
The change should say 4th down.
There you go.
There we go.
Interesting. Looks like they're gonna go for it.
This would be a 31-yard field goal for either Taylor Wanderley or Chris Lara.
I think they have the capability to kick, but they're not going to do it.
Inside the red zone, yes, the Huskies keep the offense out there. 4th and 8. They have converted 2 4th downs so far today. Shannon with good protection. Now it collapses. There's my goodness. Second sack of the ball game. That's Nathan Horton on 4th down.
Wow, that was clutch defensively for the Rams, just like they showed themselves to close out the first half of play. Look at this takedown.
There seems to be only one player on the football field that can catch Cameron Shannon. 2 sacks in the ball game by the super senior Ram defensive tackle Nathan Horton. 5'11", 250 pounds. You couple that size with that speed, and you've got a whale of a football player, Nathan Horton, with 2 sacks.
To move 250 pounds that quick to catch Shannon is very, very impressive.
It's the sort of sack fest for Nathan Horton you can say for years to come. I did on Riverside TV. Big number 99 Christian Wilson stuffs the Bo Bruins run. And ironically for the leading Rams, that is only the 4th run of the ball game.
Yeah.
For their Bill Cowell Bo Bruins.
That is correct. In fact, he loses 1 on that play.
4 carries for 29 yards now for Bruins. The senior racked up 2,072 rushing yards and 35 touchdowns last year. Tunnel screen is nearly picked off. Villa had that one knocked away by Danny Salvador. There is a clock malfunction in the stadium right now, so we should be at under 7 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Nevertheless, Rams are up 21-13.
So I guess the clock is having some issues right now. I don't know if the referees are aware of what's happening with the time clock.
Quick game update out out of Riverside. Arlington leads Lakeside late in the third quarter, 12-7.
You gotta talk to the tech guys outside.
Play action, and Johnson finds Jake Valenzuela. That could be the final play before they stop the game here. That's a pickup of 14 and a conversion for Ramona. And now Ken Mashinsky is trying to talk with the officials.
Now they finally got their attention.
I'm sure that's got to feel pretty good for Ramona that they sneak in a first down before they stop the game here. We had clock issues prior to the game, but now it's coming back in the third quarter, and you never know what this sort of thing does to impact these players.
There should be a secondary timekeeper. But that may not be the situation.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to get things worked out technically on the time clock, so this gives a little bit of breathing space for both of these squads until things come back to life here.
Right, so as we've got a moment, let's recap what we have seen here from Ramona tonight. The Rams jumped out to a 14-0 lead early, but since that moment, JW North has looked like every bit as good as Ramona over the last quarter and a half. The problem is the Huskies had this long drive ended by a Horton sack to end the half, get the ball to begin the third quarter on the kickoff, march again downfield, and they have another promising drive come up empty. So JW North has all the tools to lead the game, but missed opportunities as Ramona.
You know, they were close enough to try to do an attempted field goal, and it's maybe a second guess on our part to wonder why they just didn't give that a shot, especially when you figure that they came up short and came up with no points at all. Now the scoreboard has gone completely black here in the stadium as they try to figure things out technically. So that brings us to, unfortunately, a stoppage of play as they try to get things functioning.
This has got to be the first time in years we've ever done a game on Riverside TV where the scoreboard's just completely turned off.
Yeah, I haven't had that happen before.
But it must be something with the core.
I think they're going to reboot the system here to try to get it up and running again. So interesting. So stoppage in play gives the opportunity for both squads to catch a nice breather and kind of regroup and get things up and strategically planned out here for the remainder of this third quarter play.
And I'd say hopefully we get that sooner than later. This is a good opportunity for us to take a little closer look at the two quarterbacks we've seen. For me, my biggest takeaway from JW North quarterback we just saw in the last drive, Cameron Shannon, is the very thing I brought up earlier in the game. He is just a junior, so he's got plenty of room to improve. First game of the season, right? But Cameron Shannon, at some point, we saw it once on that last drive, he's going to need to figure out a way to beat a defense with his arm. Yeah, that's difficult. Yeah. But at some point, he's going to have to do that if JW North wants to win big in the playoffs.
That's one of the things that Jaden Gamble had last year, coming up with about 1,848 yards from a passing standpoint. Yeah. Had the great capability to throw that football. As we mentioned a couple of times, the great balance offensively by last year's squad was very prominent. And I know Coach Reichel definitely wants to see that again here in 22.
Yeah. I brought it up earlier. Michael Vick is a guy that looks so much like Cameron Shannon, not just because he's a scrambling quarterback, but just his size and his skill set. Because Shannon's got the cannon arm too. The problem is he's not quite consistent enough to beat a defense as of now, from what I've seen, beating the defense with his arm. Now, the Rams' defense is fantastic, so there's not a lot of quarterbacks beating that defense anyways, but that's going to be the development, the challenge throughout the year. And lucky for him, lucky for the football team, this is only week 0. He's got a whole season to figure that thing out.
This is a great way to get those muscles, not just physical muscles, but those mental muscles taken care of to essentially position yourself as a leading quarterback and try to make some things happen offensively here for the Huskies.
It also certainly doesn't help when Venasio Michele graduates from last year. He was one of the best running backs in the city for years.
He was dynamite. It was such a pleasure to watch him play football.
Right, so they're working without him. Scoreboard's back up and running. 6:50 left in the third quarter. Pitch from Johnson. It goes awry, and the ball's rolling around, and it appears the Rams have recovered.
I would almost think that might be considered a forward pass, but I could be wrong.
Picked up by number 14, Jordan Daniels.
Boy, that was a really escape of a potential nightmare there.
Another team in blue, Music City Miracle. We saw a near lateral in that game, but in this game, whether that's a forward lateral or not, considering where Nathan Johnson was behind the line of scrimmage, I think it was a good call for them to rule a fumble on that play. Johnson, wow, a strike to Mendoza. Here we go, Wayne. One man to beat. Royce Mendoza to the 10, and he runs out of steam. Knocked out of bounds at the 5.
What a toss, and a great catch by Mendoza to take that almost to the house.
Andre Lindsay saves the touchdown for JW North. First and goal, Ramona. That was the first grab of the ball game for Royce Mendoza, and that is a play that could completely change the implications of this drive.
That's how the arm of Johnson works so effectively as a quarterback, getting the clean strike to his guy and now putting the football right up the 5-yard line.
Bruins and Villarreal are in the backfield for Nathan Johnson and the Rams. First and goal from the 5.
Second TD of the night for Bruins, this time by a carriage from the backfield.
JW North has got to be kicking themselves. Missed opportunities near the red zone twice. They score nothing on those 2 drives inside the Ram 35. And Ramona, to their credit, capitalized on the Nathan Horton sack with a 65-yard touchdown drive. Big grab by Mendoza off of the clock malfunction. And then the Bo Bruins scored.
You know, when you think about it, Nick, it's kind of the big plays that have really shown up here with the Rams of Ramona to come up with these points on the scoreboard. So it's made it quite an exciting and entertaining time here for the Rams and their fan base here at Ramona High School.
And they've got to feel pretty jazzed. This is really one of the first times in years we've seen JW North meet their match on both sides of the ball. Ramona comes into the season opener motivated and familiar with JW North, and they punch them right where they haven't been hit in years. A team that went 11-1 last year, JW North, down in the opener 28-13 midway through the third quarter.
Wow. Well, we've called this the city championship, and it certainly looked like that so far in this ball game. There's still plenty of time for the Huskies of JW North to make things happen offensively. They certainly have the capabilities to do that with some of their skilled players.
11:20 left in the fourth quarter from Arlington High School. Lakeside has just taken the lead. A rushing touchdown has pushed the Lancers up on the road 19-14.
Wow.
On our secondary game on Riverside TV. Lakeside has made a statement in the opener against the Arlington Lions.
What a great way to start off the 22 season when you have 2 really big games right within the city of Riverside taking place.
In the 2021 River Valley League, Notre Vista won that division with a 5-0 conference record. Ramona was 4-1. I think coming up in third was Arlington, 3rd out of 6. So that is a huge upset in the works right now out of Arlington High School in their debut of their home stadium. From the 22-yard line, return from Damian Alala, and he is wrapped up at around the 30-yard line. JW North dug themselves a huge hole off of that 4th down non-conversion. They need 70 yards for a touchdown and just a few first downs to get some confidence back.
Well, with time kind of being a factor now, you kind of wonder if they're going to maybe look to the playbook that has some bit more plays that will churn up some more yardage instead of just kind of keeping things on the ground.
(28-13). Ramona with the lead, and 5:24 remaining in the third quarter. Amir Ridgely lines up with Cameron Shannon in the backfield on 1st down and 10. Flea flicker to Shannon, and he's got
a man
Carson
open.
Branch deep. He's got it to the 30, and on the first play of the drive, that's a 70-yard house call.
Wow.
Touchdown, JW North.
Don't see any flags on the turf, so it looks like it will stay and remain on the scoreboard. Oh, man.
That's one of those plays. Cameron Shannon, just don't miss him. Carson Branch had the defense beat by 5 yards.
Only second catch of the night for Branch and makes it count with 70 yards to the house here.
And with 5:12 to go in the third quarter, JW North, just as they have in so many games, down early, they punch you right back, and they made this thing a game again.
Once again, it's Wonderly with the kick. Point after attempt, it gets blocked.
Knocked away by Nicky Chavez, and the score remains 28-19. Special teams blunders on PAT kicks by JW North may come back to haunt this team later in the game. They're down by 9.
Even in spite of that deficit, that was an impressive pass. And like I said, you kind of wonder, they had to go into the playbook where there was the yardage factor where they needed to make things happen right away, and they did.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more out of a football game tonight. Very well played from these two well-coached football teams, perennial playoff teams. And I've got a feeling JW North isn't going to go away this easy. They've got something. They've got something up their sleeves in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. They definitely have the capabilities to make things happen offensively. They have obviously the line for both defense and offense to make things happen. It's just a matter of getting those skilled players offensively to get a little bit more polished, and they have more than capabilities to do that.
Great football game tonight. What's amazing, too, is that this was scheduled to be a Ramona versus King matchup. Late in the offseason, King scratched this game in the opener, and Ramona at the last moment picked up JW North as their season opener for 2022. And they play each other for the first time in 15 years, and you wouldn't know it on the scoreboard. It's been anyone's game throughout. Jake Valenzuela gets under it at the 11, finds a seam to the 30, only the kicker to beat. Valenzuela to the 50, and the kicker got him at the 40-yard line, Chris Lara. A return of 49 from Jake Valenzuela.
Once again, it's the big play that's kind of making the difference here for the Rams, especially on special teams.
And that really has been the difference. Great point, JR. Really, that's the difference in the game tonight. Ramona on special teams has made all their PATs and ran back a kickoff for a touchdown. JW North has 0 field goals, 2 missed PATs. And special teams is hurting them again right here.
Special teams are that, and we got to have a timeout here down in the field from what it looks like. Officials timeout. Stops the clock at 5:01 here in the third.
Was that a coach that got hit out of bounds?
I think there might be an injury timeout. Somebody might have gotten hit to the out of bounds there of JW North. They're attended to somebody there on the sidelines, right by the yard marker. So that'll stop play. Once again, it's a 28.
Oh, yeah, that's Johnny Tupou, who's getting dragged off the field by one of the JW North coaches.
Wow.
He is the team leader in tackles last year for the Huskies. Big development. We'll give you updates on his status. JW North is down their top linebacker. 1st and 10 from the 39. Ramona is up by 9. Play fake to Bruins. Quick flip in the flat. Jordan Daniels has room to run. He absorbs the hit and gets walloped at the 29-yard line. Big hit from Andre Lindsay. That's enough for a Ramona first down.
Yeah, gets another way to move those chains here.
Well, JW North, a fantastic defense last year. They've got to dig deep and get a stop here.
Only second catch of the night for Daniels.
It should be noted the Rams have only punted once the entire night. And that was in the second quarter of this ball game. 28-19 Rams late in the third. Second play of a drive, kick-started by a big return from Valenzuela. Play fake and a slant to Villa, and he sits down to the 15-yard line.
Looks like another first down here for Ramona.
As Nathan Johnson is nearing 200 yards passing in tonight's game. 200 yards and 2 touchdowns on 60% completions for the senior Nathan Johnson. League leader in pass yardage and touchdowns last year. Johnson, 6'2", 170 pounds. He looks like one of the best quarterbacks in this area.
I tell you what, to come out of the gate here in this first week of the season, looking very impressive so far in this contest.
We've seen great RCC quarterbacks come in from schools like Ramona and JW North, and Nathan Johnson, certainly capable of even bigger heights, has played very well in the season debut of this 2022 Rams program. A touchdown here in the third quarter could give them a commanding lead. Mendoza in motion, draw to Bruins. With a head of steam, here's Bruins. He is hit at the 2 and dives to the 1-yard line.
Just shy. Boy, I thought he might have made it. But they're going to give him that. His knee was down right at that 1-foot line.
Excellent play up front. Danny Salvador, number 9, converges on the touchdown-saving tackle for JW North. This would be a monumental defensive stand. Huskies try and plug up the goal line here on first down from the 1 of JW North. Late in the third quarter, the Rams have the ball and the late lead. Villarreal and Bruins join Johnson in the Ramona backfield. First and goal. Johnson the snap, fake to Villarreal. It's a fumble for Bruins, and the Huskies might have got it. They do.
Oh, man. Wow.
And that's the man who was hurt to begin the drive. Johnny Sion Dupo. Fumble recovery at the goal line in maybe the biggest play of the football game.
Man, that could really turn things around when you think about what might have happened and the Rams getting back onto the scoreboard. But, boy, if they can turn this around, make a nice long drive, and get some points on the scoreboard, although there's a discussion going down on the field right now.
You can hear the air popped out of this building right here. I mean, these fans are speechless.
Yeah.
Ramona goes all the way to the 1. A touchdown would have given an early dagger of the Huskies. And JW North figures out a way with one of the great running backs we've ever seen in Ramona Ram history. They force a fumble on him at the goal line. I mean, we've seen everything in this football game tonight, JR, and we've got a whole fourth quarter to go.
Still plenty of time for entertainment here. Glad to have you along with us here on Riverside TV.
Read option pitch. Easton grabs into the end zone.
That was daring. That was very daring.
Kudos to the JW North running back. The stop from Guerrero, who somehow couldn't bring him down before he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
I would have never been brave enough to make that kind of a play call, but that's really gutsy by Oakley on that.
Maybe that's
call.
why you're up here.
That's why I'm up here with
there.
a microphone in my mouth.
To be fair, I'd be the exact same way. Of course, I wouldn't have pitched it or ran it. I would have just sat down.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other discussion.
But a pitch back when you got your man in the end zone is just, boy, that's a great way to give yourself some gray hairs.
It was in my first varsity day of practice, when I walked into a false start on the offense. It was that first day of varsity practice for me when I walked to the tackle bag, not ran, and got nailed by the defense. It was at that moment when the coaches said, yeah, you might be a track player. You might be a soccer player, but not here on this field. False start on number 79.
That far. I didn't even get that far. No.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Michael Serrano of JW North with the false start.
Half distance to the goal.
Well, the Huskies better be careful. We've seen Nathan Horton and that defense deliver big plays in the Husky backfield. They've got 2nd and 13. And Shannon's going to throw it. Risky decision. Here is the rush. Shannon avoids his safety. He heads out to the 5-yard line, and on a brilliant run, he's out to the 7.
Wow. Definitely credit his speed and elusiveness getting himself out of trouble on that one.
Javier Castaneda nearly records his first career safety.
3rd down and 5 scenario here for the Rams. Clock stopped at 2:02 in the 3rd.
They actually gave Shannon the 9-yard line. A scamper of 7 from Cameron Shannon. 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Ramona 28, JW North 19. North capped off the last drive with a long touchdown run. Early movement again. Another false start on the offense.
Wow.
Malepo Opea, junior center on the early move, rather right guard on the infraction.
Once again, a new look at running back was Zavala in the backfield there with Shannon.
You know, JW North would be the only team, 3rd and 10 from your own 5, that it's very likely they run the ball here.
Yeah.
The playbook's open. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Run or pass any spot of the field. It appears the Rams are threatening blitz. They've got only one high safety. They'll bring a 4-man twist. Shannon under duress. Throws in front of Watkins into traffic, and it's short. Incomplete and no flag down. Good coverage out there by Isaac Guerrero. Incomplete to Alala, and on 4th down from their own 5, let's see what the Huskies do here. They've had 1 PAT blocked and have only tried 2 punts in the game, and it appears they'll do the same punt situation late in the 3rd quarter.
That is definitely the smartest thing to do right now. You don't want to chance it when you're backed up into your own end zone. But this ought to give the Rams some significant field position on this punt return attempt here.
Fernando Zavala will punt it, and Jake Valenzuela of Ramona is deep to return. He might be a little too deep. He's standing at the 50. And now he steps up to about the 45-yard line, just outside of your screen. With his heels in the back line, Zavala quickly gets rid of it and nearly gets blocked.
That's a pretty decent punt.
Valenzuela very easily could have touched that ball on a return. He lets it bounce to the 47-yard line.
Still very nice field position here for the Rams. They definitely need to take advantage of that to try to put this one out of distance here for the Huskies.
Right. They coach you that, and you could tell that Opalani Vepulu, a great coach, has got his handle on this program. Any other situation, any other football team, maybe the return man brings that back, but I'm sure Ramona's saying, hey, we don't want to make a mistake here.
Right.
Ken Mashinsky and that coaching staff too, let's just get the ball in plus territory instead of risk a fumble. Their last drive ended with a fumble from Bruins at the 1-yard line on a bad quarterback-running back exchange. Better exchange this time to Bruins. He spins and dances and crawls to the 44-yard line. The tackle by Danny Salvador. Number 9.
Only 7 carries so far for Bruins.
A quiet day from him. This might be the only time Bruins is held under 100 yards.
Yeah, it's not common that we see this little yardage out of his production factors here.
But he's capable of having a big 4th quarter. Final minute of the 3rd, 2nd and 7. Johnson with time. Now he's under pressure. Hit as he throws, intended for Mendoza. Could that have been pass interference? It certainly was close. The Huskies' Austin Dixon was out there. No penalty flag thrown. And that brings up a critical third down.
Clock stopped, 48 seconds remaining in the third.
Big game update out of Arlington. We'll have that score for you after the third quarter is over. 48.4 seconds remain in the third quarter, and Ramona faces third and long. Huskies bring the blitz. Johnson launches, and he's got a man open and overthrows what could have been a touchdown.
Wow.
Outside of the reach of number 14, Jordan Daniels. About 2 yards shorter, and that's a house call for Daniels, and the Rams lead it by 3 scores. That's a big miss.
Yeah, looks like the punting squad's coming in for this one.
Pressure supplied by Christian Wilson as the incompletion brings in the punt team.
Stops the clock at 41.5 in the third.
It really is incredible in this football game that the Rams had the ball at the 1 yard line and commit a fumble.
Yeah.
And then Daniels is off for a touchdown, and that pass is overthrown. And they still lead it by 9 in a third quarter in which JW North has had the ball for most of it. Really an incredible football game. Chavez sends a skyward punt inside the 10. Alala will bring it back. He gets a block at the 20 and motors to the 23. So in the game update, I promised after 3, but it's a good one. That touchdown I mentioned for Lakeside was actually a 2-point conversion. They're up 15-14. Arlington has the ball with 2:47 to go, down 1. So great finish.
Exciting game. It's happening here in the city of Riverside.
You know, there's a lot of games, a good return here from number 7, Damian Alala. There's a lot of games that are billed of being a good one. Not too often you get 2 on the same night to begin the year, and that's what we've got tonight.
Yeah,
we've seen plenty of games. It's expected to be a close one. It's over after 2 quarters.
Yeah.
This one, not even close.
Entertainment the whole night here in the city of Riverside.
From their own 25, Shannon's got it. And checks it down to a wide open Damian Alala. Then he coughs up the football, and I think the Huskies have got it.
I think they do.
On a gain of 18, Alala was off and running.
Man, that dodges a bullet.
Huge bullet missed, but JR, a botched coverage by the Rams, they didn't even lay a hand on Alala.
No, they was pretty wide open down the center portion of the field, and that moves the change, and it looks like the Huskies are definitely going to the playbook where they're trying to churn up some yards from a passing standpoint.
Right. As we look at the replay here, yes, the Rams just didn't cover him.
Wow, look at that. Wide open.
The linebacker buzzed off into the tailback, Amari Easton.
Brings to a close the third quarter. And now we hit ourselves into the fourth.
So let's give you another game update, folks. Arlington christens their brand new stadium in Riverside. 15-14, Lakeside has the ball with under 2 minutes to go. And the Lancers shoot clock with a run. It appears that Lakeside picks up a first down inside the 25-yard line. So we don't know if there's timeouts left for both schools. We're just trying to figure that out as we go. But it appears that Lakeside might just be in position to win that game.
What a great looking ball game, though. I mean, it looks like even though it was pretty tight through most of this contest there for Arlington and Lakeside.
Yes, Arlington doesn't use a timeout, so the game is over. Lakeside, if they just need the ball successfully here, they will have beaten Arlington in their first home game as a program.
Yeah, looks like they're huddling up to be a kneel down here.
They need just 2 snaps, does Lakeside, to ice a 15-14 win. And there's one of the snaps, and the running back is close to the end zone.
Yeah, they're trying to punch it in for another score.
Tackled in bounds, but credit to Lakeside. The Lancers from Lake Elsinore, California come into Riverside and pull off a huge Week 1 upset.
Now looks like we may have a big fourth quarter here, Nick.
Fourth quarter football from Riverside TV. 28-19 is the lead for Ramona. Shannon dances away from the pressure. Gets by another one, that's Castaneda.
Oh, nice defensive play.
Isaac Guerrero knocks it away.
Boy, Guerrero's been all over the field defensively through the night for the Rams, and he just proved himself why he's one of the top defensive backs here for the Rams of Ramona. Take another look, Nick.
Well, it all began with that Shannon dance out of the pocket.
Beautiful. Great timing there by Guerrero.
Yeah, Osvaldo Solis was the open target. Good makeup speed from Guerrero. So what do you expect to see from JW North in the fourth quarter?
You know, they're going to have to, again, go back to that bag of tricks and try to get some yardage here because the time essentially is running out for them.
Yeah. Out of the gun, Shannon checks it down to Amir Ridgely. And he gets by the first defender and takes a tumble out of bounds near the 50. Desmond Watkins, I mean, I don't know. I'm running out of superlatives for this guy.
Yeah.
He's on another tackle for Ramona. He came into the season opener, did number 23, Desmond Watkins, like a man on a mission.
I think Mush has to be pretty pleased with his defense so far and what they've seen throughout the night.
So when we cover Ramona High School again in a couple of weeks, home against the Bears, I've got to bring up this guy. What in the world is in the water in front of Desmond Watkins' house? Something, because this dude is just crazy right now.
They got to bottle it. Start selling it.
Joined by the Rams' Isaac Vega. That's an incredible 1-2 punch at linebacker. Third down, here's Shannon. With time, he flips it over the middle to the leaping Damian Alala. Wrapped up in front of Joseph Soto. First down, Rams on the gain of 12.
Alala beginning to rack things up with his 4th catch of the night.
3 of those in the second half.
Excuse me, 3 catches on the night.
Okay, maybe 2 in the second half.
Yeah.
Cameron Shannon down 9, looks comfortable in the pocket right now. Off the play fake, the Rams bring the blitz and get beat on the screen.
Oh.
Out of the backfield, this is Anthony Zavala inside the 10.
Great execution coming out of the backfield.
And the Rams look gassed right now, and that was Watkins to escort him out of bounds.
Looks like we got a Ram down on the turf right now, just inside of the 5-yard line. So
Watkins, as you can see, is in the bottom of your screen chasing number 23, but the injured Ram got cut under by Watkins. Big blow to Jordan Daniel, number 3.
Yeah, Daniel's down on the turf right now, and they're going to have a look at his situation, so that'll stop the time clock right at 10:16 early here in the fourth quarter.
Crushing blow. Let's confirm quickly before we return action here. Our secondary game from Riverside TV. Jeff Gorham and Ghazal Hassan. Lakeside has knocked out Arlington in a stunning upset. What are your thoughts of a 15-14 Lancer road win in the opener?
Well, that's impressive, but you know how things go in high school football. Anything can happen on a Friday night, and Lakeside has definitely made it happen. My goodness.
And as we look at the highlights, Lakeside looked like they had a balanced attack. Lions did a good job early in the game, but the Lions prevail, rather the Lancers prevail. We don't know exactly what all happened. We're watching highlights right as you guys are on Riverside TV.
Yeah,
it looked like a great football game.
Absolutely. Jordan Daniel having to be helped off into the sidelines, so we're going to have a hopefully maybe some sort of update to see how his situation, but he definitely was nursing one of his legs there.
It appears that Arlington had 2 interceptions and nearly a pick 6 in that ball game. But that still wasn't enough for them to muster up enough offense to win the game.
I'm sure that's quite disappointing for their very first home game ever in the history of that program.
I'm sure they'll have a few wins in that stadium. Inside handoff, touchdown Amir Ridgely. We've got a game, folks.
Man.
28-25 with just over 10 minutes to go.
The Huskies just refuse to give up, and that's just what you would expect out of this program.
And Amir Ridgely, who had a tough first half, punches it in. And now JW North, who's had problems all night with point after tries, they'll bring Taylor Wanderley back into the game. 1 for 2. Her last kick was blocked. Extra point with 9:51 to go.
Wow, this has really made such a quick contest here in the fourth quarter.
Snap, set. Line drive from Wanderley. It hooked to the left and is no good. 1 for 4 on PATs. If the Huskies convert those, we're tied. Instead, Ramona leads by 3.
Wow, that again, special teams has been the thing that has made the difference in this ball game. Still got time here with 9:51 left in the ball game.
Well, JR, I don't want to jinx it. I'll knock on wood right now. We might just be watching the best game of the season.
Again, this was called the Riverside City Championship. It's lived up to its billing. This is actually not surprising to both you and I, as we both saw these programs last year and how effective they were both defensively and offensively. So this is not a surprise, and it's a great way to start off our season here on Riverside TV football coverage.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked that the loser of this football game won't lose again the rest of the regular season.
You bring up a great point.
Ramona went 10-2 last year. JW North 11-1.
Yeah, no, this is a game that is really going to help both of these programs propel themselves into the remainder of the season.
And that was the problem last year. These two teams did not have one of those marquee opponents through most of the season. Ramona did play Notre Vista in a tough game. That was their one circle on the calendar game from last year. But now those two schools say, we've got to get ready for game 1 of the season.
Yeah.
And this is what Alabama does in college football. They say, okay, we're going to play some cupcakes. We're going to play Citadel. We're going to play Colorado State. But our first game of the year is going to be Texas, USC, one of those guys. Valenzuela from the goal line. Oh, baby. One to beat, taken down by Jaden Garcia.
We've talked about it all night long. Special teams once again.
It's hard to see a football game in which one area of the game completely tells the story, like the special teams unit of Ramona High School.
It's one thing that never gets enough attention in many programs. It's just almost a bygone that special teams are just kind of like, okay, but you can see how much it makes an impact on a football game.
The Rams are dominating field position, dominating the kicking game over JW North, and that has been the story of tonight. Johnson hit as he throws. That pass falls incomplete. The big fella supplying the pressure. Senior Christian Wilson on the hit of Johnson.
Wilson, if I'm not mistaken, he comes in at 6'5", like 315,
something like that.
Oh, he's just a huge kid, and he's definitely fast too.
Yes. And hey, he's got pretty good hands.
Yeah, exactly. He can definitely tell the grandkids one day that he came up with a touchdown.
Yeah, the Huskies got their scoring started in the second quarter with a jump ball to Christian Wilson, the big defensive tackle in the end zone. 28-25 with 9:32 to go. Bruins, who's been quiet tonight, pinballs to the 32 on an 8-yard scamper and near a first down. They mark him back at the 33, but a good run for Bruins.
Yeah, it's almost like somebody just pushed him forward to get an extra yard or two. Makes it a third and 3, 3rd and 4 scenario here for the Rams.
He's had a quiet day, but Bruins looks a little more confident right now in the fourth quarter. The tackle there by Orlingi Pea.
Clock rolling at 9 minutes remaining.
Johnson throws the slant into traffic for Mendoza, and he's got it. Did he lose the ball at the end of it? They say no.
Yeah, the Huskies are claiming that it was down.
Mendoza had two defenders draped all over him. Check out this play again.
Look at this one, Nick. Yeah.
This is the throw of the quarter for Nathan Johnson. Feathered that one right into a shoestring right there. Royce Mendoza for the first down.
Nice toss, nice catch. Clock rolling.
I'm sure Ken Mashinsky is saying, great job, don't do that again. Because that guy was covered, Royce Mendoza was. 1st and 10 from near the red zone. Johnson's looking end zone and throws the comeback to Valenzuela, and those two guys were not on the same page. Incomplete.
Uh-oh, we got a player down for the Rams.
That can't be Johnson, is it? Yes.
Yeah, I think
Nathan
it is.
Johnson is hurt now.
Yeah, boy.
The Rams have two other quarterbacks on their roster, number 12, Cody Shinar, number 15, Jaden Everett. Everett we saw in limited spot duty during garbage time of last year's games. So Everett could be the guy they have to spell Johnson if he cannot come back quickly here.
Wow, this could be a definite issue not only for the game but for the season, although it looks like Johnson's going to get back up under his own power, which is great to see.
Number 12, Cody Shinar, is the man the coach brings in to spell Nathan Johnson, who appears to be okay.
You know, Cody, I saw him take a lot of reps in practice before the game, so that was very key to have some forethought, because you never know when you call upon him to come in and try to make something happen here for the Rams.
This game is at everything. Kickoff return touchdowns, missed PATs, long touchdown catches, touchdown grabs from defensive linemen, and how about this? Both teams have brought in their backup quarterbacks at some point. Just an absolutely wild football game with 8:27 to go.
And it's only week 0.
Yeah.
Timeout on the field.
If you told me week 12, a playoff football game, I wouldn't doubt it.
You know, if this becomes a yearly event, maybe they should come up with some sort of special trophy to honor the champion, if you will, for this type of rivalry game. I think it's worthy of that.
Well, it's too bad in this moment Jeff Gorham is not here in Ghazal Hassan. He would stop you in your tracks and say, there is a battle of the bell, or there's a battle for a belt. I should know this. We've been working here for a couple of years now. Scott Brocious would be yelling in our headset right now too. There's like 3 or 4 trophies.
In a couple of minutes.
Yeah. There are trophies that you're talking about. I just don't know any of them.
But more than appropriate if this remains as a rivalry game for years to come.
It needs to be a rivalry game.
Yeah, I
Seriously.
think so. This needs to be an annual thing for these two teams. I love what we're seeing so far. This is a great way to start off the 22 season.
We haven't seen the Rams kicking group yet attempt a field goal.
Johnson back in.
But Johnson is back in.
Oh,
Slant
yes.
to Mendoza.
Oh,
and
fumble.
he loses the football.
Can you believe it?
JW North, Andre Lindsey scoops it up at the 13.
Wow.
The Huskies fall behind by 14, and slowly they have chipped away at the Ramona lead. That is the second fumble in the half by Ramona, and this one is huge. Another one inside the red zone. The Rams go at the doorstep and come up empty.
More than enough time to make opportunity out of this scenario. Clock stopped at 8:19, only trailing by 3 points. And we've seen the Huskies with a great ability to move the football. So let's see what happens on this next series of downs.
JW North, a 36-point per game offense last year, facing this incredible defense. That offense hasn't missed a beat tonight, and they are 87 yards away from a touchdown and the late lead. Draw. Omari Easton is into the secondary and takes a tumble to the 26. 13-yard scamper and a first down.
Yeah, definitely a first down pickup there. Boy, such a great 1-2 punch we've seen tonight with Easton and Ridgely and Shannon coming out of the backfield.
And while that didn't pay dividends in the first half, it's really paying dividends now. The
Absolutely.
Rams look exhausted trying to slow these guys down.
You know, I love what we're seeing here, the fact that we're seeing 3 different runners be effective here for the Huskies. It's going to give nightmares to other coaches throughout the season.
And nightmares of the Ram defense right now. Play fake, and that pass is short. Incomplete to Osvaldo Solis, and he had room to run. And that's a perplexing play call, JR. Your running game is rolling right now.
The front line for the Huskies can definitely make things happen, and yeah, you kind of wonder why go to the pass right now, although you definitely want to come up with some yardage.
Now they're certainly capable of completing that one. Nevertheless, with 7:43 to go, nail biter from Ramona. Our score is 28-25. Third play of the JW North drive. It's a run inside to Easton. Hammered by Chavez on the 5-yard gut run out to the 30-yard line. Easton, who averaged 8.5 yards a carry in the first half, not quite as dazzling of a performance in the second half, but the man who just crossed the century mark has been a major difference in this football game.
Boy, he's had 17 carries in this game, Nick, so he has been the workhorse here for the Huskies.
Another dozen carries for Ridgely. Nearly 10 carries for Shannon, another couple for Zavala. It's been a run-heavy offense, especially in the second half. Cut back for Easton, upended at the 37. Chavez again on the stop. It's a first down.
Stops the clock with 7 remaining. I think the Huskies are just trying to methodically work their way down the green turf here.
Yeah, and this would be an incredible stop for the Rams. They look gassed, and I don't blame them. JW North has nearly double the time of possession. Even those drives that didn't score, they're starting to pay dividends now. The Rams have hands on their hips as they look a little tired. First down at the 37-yard line. 6:32 left in the game. Shannon, pass rush coming, and he's hit as he throws. Olala dropped it.
Wow.
Incomplete to the 42-yard line. Olala has had a rough fourth quarter performance for JW North. A fumble earlier and a dropped pass now.
Yeah, he's usually the go-to guy that the Huskies have relied upon, especially throughout last season.
25 grabs and 6 touchdowns a year ago for Olala. Rams jumped out to a 14-0 lead, but credit to JW North. They stayed patient with the run and to their game plan. They also got a few breaks on a few fumbles from Ramona, and now they've got a chance for the late lead. Punishing run from Amari Ridgely, and yet again Watkins ushers him down at the 41-yard line.
Time is going to start to be a factor here, Nick, with the clock rolling at 6:09 remaining in the game.
And with the passing game struggling in the fourth quarter, this could be a running down for JW North on 3rd and 6.
Right.
The Huskies ran for nearly 200 yards in the first half and over 100 more in the second half. Punishing performance by the two-headed monster of Ridgely and Easton.
Oh, movement. Looks like movement. Boy.
Full start.
Penalties have been really kind of an issue here for the Huskies. 7th of the night as far as flags are concerned.
Yeah, that really hurts. JW North needs 11. It appears that they were going to run the ball. They had a few pulling guards on that false start. 3rd down, they may be forced to throw the ball here.
I think so, Nick. Clock rolling at 5:35 here. I think you're going to have to start tossing this football.
And if the Huskies don't convert this, they may not get the ball back. It's a run, and one man stops a first down. Desmond Watkins makes the tackle.
Key play by Watkins. There was plenty of green if he does not make that tackle.
Desmond Watkins, without a doubt, is today's player of the game for Ramona. He has been sideline to sideline the best defender on the football field. Over a dozen tackles, a fumble recovery for number 23, Desmond Watkins, and the biggest play of the game so far. Watkins a 3rd down stop, and now the Rams have a chance to ice the game with a few first downs on the ground.
Do you go for a fake punt?
It's a good decision, or a good, interesting idea, but the Rams look like they're ready for it. So I'd say no.
Something to think about, because that clock is rolling right to about the 4:30 mark here.
The JW North might not get the ball back. 4th down and 7. They elect to bring out the punt team. Bad snap. They just get rid of it. End over end to Chavez. He faked like he was going to return it.
Wow,
and
nice
with
roll.
4:14 to go, 4:13 to go, the ball's been down at the 19-yard line.
Well, this is where the Huskies defense really has to make something happen to try to put a stop to this Ram offense.
Led by Bo Bruins, Ramona employed the best running game in the entire River Valley League. They averaged 210 run yards per game, led largely by Bo Bruins. The super senior Bo Bruins with the Rams up by 3. They've got a chance to ice the game on the ground right now.
You got to know they're kind of trying to eat up as much time clock as possible.
What in the world is this formation?
This is pretty interesting. We haven't seen that too often where Johnson is underneath center.
This looks like a victory formation. Do
Yeah.
they realize there's
They don't have
4:13 to go?
They don't have that much to, I mean, they have some time they got to kill. Toss the
Bo Bruins on a interesting formation. That is a gain of 8. On the triple option formation. That's what that is.
Well, that's definitely one out of the bag of tricks, if you will, here for the Rams.
It should be noted JW North has all of its timeouts, so there is enough time for the Huskies to give up a first down here and still get the ball back. But not much more than that. 2nd down and short. Bruins in motion again. It's another pitch. Bruins cuts back. A touchdown would all but seal it. There is the speed. Bo Bruins to the 20. Touchdown, Ramona.
Wow. No flags on the field, so it will stand, baby.
72 yards.
Wow.
The game isn't over, JR, but with 3:26 to go, the Rams may have just delivered the knockout punch.
What would you expect but go to Bo Bruins when you have need of making things happen?
He's one of the best running backs in all the CIF Southern section, and they had him contained. He had one of his worst games through 3 quarters as a Ram, but in the 4th quarter, he has been brilliant.
You know what was interesting is the formation that they utilized to make that touchdown. It almost looked like something you would see out of Norta Vista.
Yeah. Triple option, extra point good, Ramona 35, JW North 25. And one of the great football games of the CIF Southern section tonight, and the Rams may have just put an exclamation point on this one.
Has definitely lived up to the billing of being the city championship here for the city of Riverside. Much excitement in this contest. Entertainment galore.
JW North, one of the great defenses in all of Riverside last year. They led the Sun Belt in scoring defense at just 11.5 points per game allowed. That defense, opportunistic, yes, but they just couldn't slow down both Johnson and Bruins tonight.
Not at all. Bruins has been exactly what people build him to be, and you see why he is definitely one of the top players here in the city of Riverside.
Villa for the kickoff. Special teams has been a nightmare throughout the game for JW North.
Ooh, right.
On the hop, Alala from the 17-yard line. He finds a seam and cuts it back.
Still on his feet.
Diagonal goes Alala, and he is hauled down by Gavin McGowan
Flag
with a late
on the
flag
field.
thrown. That should be a late hit out of bounds.
Wow, that could really make a difference here in trying to get some extra added yardage out of that run back.
So as they sort out the penalty here, let's check out the upcoming schedule for the two teams, starting with Ramona. Rams have a 2-game road trip coming up, Friday at Kaiser and then next Friday at Valley View. Home against Temescal Canyon, then the regular season non-conference finale on Riverside TV. The Ramona Rams play host to the Pauley Bears. Meanwhile, for JW North, their next game is on Riverside TV, a home contest against the Cougars of Beaumont. At Chino Hills, home for Roosevelt, a bye, then the non-conference finale against the Titans of Grand Terrace. Then a game they circle on the schedule, one of the top games of the year for them, against the Power in Riverside at the Coyotes of Orange Vista, the team that came in runner-up in the Sun Belt League to JW North last season.
Great field position here for the Huskies.
First down from the 45, back to pass, here's Shannon. Deep over the middle, Boucher couldn't quite make the grab over two defenders.
Wow, kind of in double coverage there. That was very daring.
Dominic Chavez did a good job in the secondary for Ramona. Well, if the Huskies don't score on this drive, then the game is over. 35-25 with just over 3 minutes to go.
Definitely have time to make things happen.
Well, there is a red flag on the field, but high school teams aren't allowed to challenge, are they? Referee's picking up that red flag right now.
Well, Coach Vaipula wants to have a word with one of the officials here. Not sure exactly what the contention is.
JW North came bitterly close.
Penalty will go against the Huskies from what it looks like.
JW North bitterly close to a big playoff run last year.
Looks like an unsportsmanlike conduct, which is something you don't want to have happen this late in a football game.
Brutal.
Man.
JW North searching for their first CIF championship since 2006. Ramona went to the championship game just a few years ago in 2019. A narrow loss, 42-40 to Esperanza. Second down and 25, timeout JW North.
Wow. That penalty could make such a huge difference in this ball game, Nick, because they had some pretty respectable field position when you have just over 3 minutes remaining in this ball game.
Yeah. Nick Rice, Jerry Barr, let's recap what we've seen in the game so far. A couple of top players to highlight for tonight's contest, and one of the best players on Ramona made his impact on the first snap of the season. A kickoff for JW North, taken 87 yards by Bo Bruins, right through the middle for a Ramona touchdown. That was a sign of things to come for the Rams throughout. They have dominated the game on special teams with 3 kickoff returns of over 45 yards, one of which by Bruins for a touchdown. They led it 14-0 after one. They've led by 14 throughout most of the night. Huskies trimmed the lead to 3, and then Bruins, one of the top players of the game, runs potentially the Rams into the win column.
Absolutely. He has been the impact player here for Ramona all night long.
Bo Bruins for the offense and Desmond Watkins for the defense have been their top performers. 2nd and 25, though the Huskies have a miracle. Shannon dances away, chased by Watkins, and Desmond Watkins will make that play every time, taken down at midfield.
Wow, Watkins, so effective defensively all night long for the Rams, although a really nice pickup here for the Huskies.
If Shannon gets by Desmond Watkins here, that's a first down run on 2nd and 25.
You know, that's such a great tackle because the temptation is to do a horse collar on something like that.
Yeah. Incredible athlete Desmond Watkins is. That looks like a D1 linebacker.
Oh.
Bad snap. Shannon picks it up and is dumped by Javier Castaneda. It's the Rams' 3rd sack of the game.
Boy, what a huge mistake by the Huskies. Brings up a 4th and super long scenario now.
Huskies need the 35. 4th and 25. Rams make the stop and the game is over.
Yep. This will ice it if they can't make a conversion on this one, but they got a lot of yardage to make up here.
Incredible 4-man pressure by the Rams throughout the second half. This for the game. 4th and 25. Shannon to pass. He evades. He looks. He's running. Bad decision by Shannon. Taken down, and the game is over.
Yep, that will definitely ice things up. Stops the clock at 1:39.
And a phantom flag is thrown to the secondary. Hold on a minute.
Uh-oh.
Very late flag thrown.
Should not be enough, though, to make up what they need for a first down.
Yeah, just a tough way to lose this game. Shannon there's a look at that Desmond Watkins tackle from a few plays ago. But Shannon did not need to run the football there.
No.
4th and 25, he should have been coached to throw it.
Yeah, absolutely. Personal foul going against the Rams.
Is that before or after the play? It was after.
Okay, so
Ramona gets the ball, and the Rams will win the game.
Wow.
Well, JR, that was interesting. Ramona had their lead very close, in jeopardy in the fourth quarter to getting erased by the Huskies, but big plays late by the Rams preserved the win.
Yeah, you got to give the defense a lot of kudos here for stepping things up here in this fourth quarter, making things happen and keeping the Huskies from their explosiveness on offense.
A 100-yard rushing day from Bo Bruins, a 200-yard passing day with a couple touchdowns out of the Rams' Nathan Johnson. And Ramona survives what would have been a tough pill in the opener, a home game against JW North. This one will go down as one of the best games of the season.
Well,
this game had everything.
Yeah, I think it is definitely lived up to the billing. The city championship of Riverside. So we will crown the Rams of Ramona as city champions, if you will, here in week 0.
I got a feeling JW North is going to have something to say about that later in the season.
Yeah.
They do play in different leagues and have different playoff districts, but at some point, these two teams are going to meet again and have something to say about that.
Wow.
Triple option pitch to Bruins on the right side, tripped up by Wilson at the 44.
That's a little bit of a daring move.
By this point, you could just quarterback kneel this thing.
Well, there's still a couple of timeouts here for JW North, but I don't know if they want to take them.
The Rams give up incredible performances out of both JW North running backs. Shannon's also got a near 100 yards. So it's not like the Rams had a perfect game. JW North has got to feel pretty good about their performance throughout. But Desmond Watkins to cap off this excellent game, tackled by Wilson there. But this was one that I'm sure the Rams have got to feel very good about. This isn't just a win. This is more than that. This is for bragging rights in the city and also for a lot of these players' confidence that we can beat a very good football team.
It is a statement, if you will, Nick. This is quite a win here for the Rams of Ramona to beat a team that was virtually undefeated last year. And, man, what a great way to start off a campaign for the 2022 season.
All right, let's give out some game balls tonight, JR. Mine is the Ramona linebacker, Desmond Watkins.
Oh, yes.
What say you?
Definitely. I think defensively you got to give it to him because his play tonight, especially in the fourth quarter, really made quite a bit of difference. You also got to give things out here for the specialty teams here for the Rams of Ramona. They definitely made the difference here on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah. Bo Bruins spearheaded that terrific special teams night.
Yeah.
In the battle in Riverside, JW North and Ramona meet for the first time in 15 years, and the Rams pick up a huge win on opening day. 35-25 is your final score. Incredible performances all the way around. Riverside TV will have coverage of so many upcoming games on high school football and Riverside City College. But none may be as good as this game that we saw tonight.
Absolutely. And North does not, have reason to hang their heads. I know that sounds very cliche, but they have a lot that they can work with after a game of this magnitude, and just to come up just shy of winning this football game.
That'll do it tonight from Ramona High School in Riverside. Incredible performance by Bo Bruins of the Rams and Desmond Watkins too. JW North, Amir Ridgely and Amari Easton were fantastic tonight, but not good enough for a Husky win. Our final score, Ramona 35, JW North 25. Alongside J.R. Ibarra, I am Nick Rice from Riverside. Make sure to join us next Friday for another Riverside TV football game in the CIF Southern section, where Beaumont battles JW North. Until then, Ramona wins the game tonight by 10 on the first edition of Riverside TV. That'll do it tonight. Make sure to join us next week for more Riverside TV action. Until then, have a great night and a great weekend.
Cool.